John O'Hurley here. The Medicare annual enrollment period is now. But who has time to call a bunch of different carriers just to compare Medicare Advantage plans? But what if I told you it could take just one call? By calling the number on your screen, you can compare rates and plans from multiple carriers. No more dialing around, no more headaches. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all done for you by a licensed insurance agent. You could get the coverage you want at a rate that fits your budget. It won't take more than a few minutes of your day, saving time, and it may save you money. But the clock is ticking. When the Medicare annual enrollment period ends, so does your chance to make changes.
I called to make sure I understood all the plans and benefits available in my area.
I call every year to compare plans that fit my needs.
One call to compare options from multiple carriers.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-430-1251.
Imagine the peace of mind you'll have knowing that you've explored your options and chosen the right plan for you. No more second-guessing whether you could have found better coverage. Whether you're looking to reduce the cost of your plan, add benefits, or simply ensure your current doctors are still covered, this is one call that could make all the difference. Don't risk missing out on Medicare Advantage plans with important additional benefits. Call the Benefits Network to speak to a licensed insurance agent about Medicare Advantage plans and compare rates from national carriers.
I called to make sure my doctors are still covered by my plan.
I called to see what coverage and benefits change in my plan.
I call to find the plan that fits my needs for next year.
One call to compare options from multiple carriers. It's your health, your peace of mind, and your time. Make the most of it today.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-430-1251, 800-430-1251.
Welcome back. The New York City mayor's race is still making national headlines.
Newsmax's Rob Schmidt took to the streets of the Big Apple to see how people really feel about the Zohran Mamdani win.
Unbelievably excited. I think it's incredible.
I'm very happy. I think good things are going to happen.
His stance on affordability, his stance on universal child care.
He just brings a fresh set of ideas. He brings the youth.
Everybody's excited about all these grandiose ideas that have all been tried many, many times before.
Yeah. I don't want to say that word liberal people. No, I'm not liberal, but I'm for the honesty.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the safety, concerned about socialism coming to this country.
Do you see how you and I are making completely different arguments? You're saying struggling people should be mad at struggling people, and I'm saying struggling people are looking for relief. Yes, of course I am.
Oh my God, what's happening? Are those people don't have at all education?
If you listen to anything he said over the past year, he's not defunding the police.
I mean, he said it a lot in the past.
That sounds nice. It sounds nice to give everybody free things, but in reality, none of these things actually work.
I'm very, very excited for Mayor Mamdani. I'm very excited.
You know what? You know what? Rob Schmidt deserves an award.
Yeah.
Why? Because he let the people talk. If I hit those streets and those people made those comments, I'd be interrupting. I'd be saying a lot.
Yeah.
Kudos to Rob. But you know what? It really says, it speaks volumes of what people actually did at the polling station and what they were thinking. That is good. We need to do more of that.
Yeah, it is a little bit scary too, even just to look at the demographics there in terms of the younger vote, the young women vote. Really, they turned out for Zohran Mamdani. So we have to deal with, the Republican Party has to deal with the messaging and maybe what went astray there so we can resolve a lot of these issues. But I think when it comes to Zohran, he had a strong game with respect to social media, and that played a part.
Yeah, the thing is, he sold his message. And the thing is, you heard straight from the people, they were overwhelmingly excited.
Yeah.
But no one really talked about the efficacy of his policies. But stay tuned, folks. We're going to break it all down in terms of the top stories.
More First Edition only on N2 after the break.
It used to be common. Our newscasters had common sense. They gave it to you straight, just the facts, and real news. John Bachman is like them. He tells it like it is. Catch him every weekday on Newsmax 2.
Hi, folks. We're back.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
The Medicare annual enrollment period is now, but who has the time to call a bunch of different carriers just to compare Medicare Advantage plans? But what if I told you it could take just one call? By calling a number on your screen, you can compare rates and plans from multiple carriers. No more dialing around, no more headaches. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all done for you by a licensed insurance agent. You could get the coverage that you want for a rate that fits your budget. And it won't take more than a few minutes of your day. Saving time, and it may save you money, but the clock is ticking. When the Medicare annual enrollment period ends, you may not be able to change your coverage until next year.
I call to make sure my doctors are still covered by my plan.
Don't waste time. Call the Benefits Network to speak to a licensed insurance agent about Medicare Advantage plans and compare rates from national carriers. One call to compare options from multiple carriers.
For a free, no-obligation consultation, call 800-853-5703.
You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it. But why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel when Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering 0 interest and 0 payments for up to 1 year.
So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it for the price that I wanted to pay.
I've had a great experience from start to finish.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Do it the smart way. Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-395-5793.
I think over the next couple of days, we'll actually know whether or not the filibuster will actually be overturned. So that way an agenda can get done now at the sacrifice of actually the Democrats getting their agenda done later on.
Right. There is some talks that Democrat lawmakers.
Experienced Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell brings you Jerusalem Dateline, weeknights at 9:30 on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and we're glad because Jerry made it to work too.
We're especially glad. Thank you, Lord.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Thursday, another beautiful fall day. Some pretty good rain yesterday.
Yeah.
More forecasted, I guess.
Some little pockets of fog this morning. Be careful out there.
Yeah, all that's happening. All right, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. There always is. It's amazing. About every 15 minutes something happens, so we'll keep you updated on that. Got Bob Just coming on today, live from New York.
Oh my goodness, how many segments?
I don't know, pray for me.
Is he going to do the whole show?
It's the longest 1 minute of my life.
I can't wait. This could be good.
We'll get ready for that.
All right.
All right, good morning to you. What's up, man?
Well, first of all, it is National Cash Back Day. Basically, it's about finding the best deals on anything, any sales on holiday stuff. But it makes me think, everything now is cash back. All the credit cards that give you cash back,
That means they're overcharging you in the beginning.
You know what? Thank you for saying that. It's like, why don't they just lower my interest rate to match what they would give me back, and let's call it, good.
Yeah, it's like a sale.
Yes.
You go in the day after Christmas and it's 80% off. Well, how much are you making on this stupid thing?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
So enjoy your cash back, and let's all lobby our banks and credit card companies together. Just cut the rates. Show me what I'm actually, paying for this.
Yeah.
And, of course, the important thing on all of this is carrying no credit card balance into next month. Pay off your credit cards.
Oh yeah,
credit card debts, and that's a big challenge in many lives because credit card debt has become a huge issue.
Guess who introduced it?
Who?
The baby boomers.
Yeah, right.
The baby boomers brought the credit card because after the war, remember their parents went out and fought in the war.
Yeah.
Came home, rebuilt America.
Yeah.
Greatest generation.
Yeah.
Saved and paid everything in cash.
Bought a house for like $5,000.
And then they started dying off and giving all this to their kids. Their kids spent it all within about 2 or 3 years, and now they created a lifestyle they can't afford, so they invented the credit card, which is instant satisfaction.
Absolutely.
Now it is the way of transaction.
Yeah. It really is, and especially because we all shop online, and everything online is with your card.
Yeah.
So get cash back, right?
What an incentive.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's also, let's make some music about it. It's National Saxophone Day. It commemorates the birth of the woodwinds inventor Adolph Sax. He was born on this day in 1814, and Stan Getz, Jimmy Dorsey, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, all famous saxophone players, even a president, Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Remember he went on Arsenio Hall with his Ray-Ban Wayfarers and his saxophone, and I thought, oh no, I can see the paved road in front of him. They're going to make this as smooth as they can. No issues. Just play me some music, Bill. Anyway,
was that Hillary on the drums in the background?
No, I don't think Bill would trust her with drumsticks behind him.
Behind him. Well, maybe at the time he would have.
I don't know. I have a feeling she knew a long time ago. Anyway, it's also National Men Make Dinner Day.
Oh, okay.
Created for the men who don't really know their way around the kitchen and are not familiar with cooking appliances, as well as for the women in their lives who deserve and need a break. So, but this isn't really a special day for a lot of guys because there's some pretty good chefs. I know some guys who are really good in the kitchen. I know one guy in particular who's especially good. He's so good, his wife never cooks.
Really?
Ever. Never.
That's not you.
No, heck no. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well, what's interesting about that is there's no excuse for a guy not being able to cook a good meal.
Yeah.
It's called Costco.
Yeah.
You go to Costco and you get something, you take it home, you take it out of the wrapper, you put it in one of your fancy things at home, stick it in the oven.
Yeah.
Okay. Throw a little sweat on your face with an apron, come out and say, honey, look.
Right. You could do that with no hose.
Oh.
You could do that with just transfer.
There is no excuse.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? Honestly, that kind of approach would probably go over well with a lot of wives. I know that Pam would appreciate it. She doesn't care where I got it.
There you go.
Just bring
as long as she didn't cook it.
Exactly right. And also the dishes afterwards.
Well,
that's big.
That's routine for me.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a great example.
No, I lost a bet when I was a kid.
Okay, tell me about that. Okay. What? What do you mean?
Quickly, my dad would take a calendar.
Okay.
And he would put STP on the various days.
Okay.
And that was Sally, Tom, Perry. Those were my brother and sister.
Okay.
And the day that your letter was on, that's the day you had to do the dishes.
You had it. Okay. Yeah.
Well, my older brother and sister always had something to do.
Oh, really?
And a place to go.
So you got a lot of P's. PPPs.
And I was dumb enough to accept it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then when my younger brother and sister came along, well, of course, they were too young to do anything.
Oh, sure. Yes. Oh, I remember that.
That's the joys and the sorrows of being a middle child.
It's right.
So anyway, no, I don't mind doing the dishes.
No.
In our house, Peggy cooks, I do the dishes.
Well, dishes have become a lot easier than when we were kids. Now you got to get them into the dishwasher. We were the dishwasher before.
Yeah, and I have a routine.
Yeah.
Just get out of my way. When I'm doing the dishes, leave.
Really?
Leave me alone.
I love it.
I'll get it done. Just leave me alone.
Okay.
It won't be pretty, but leave me alone.
Enjoy your dinner tonight, ladies. It's also, and with that in mind, this might work for a lot of guys. We have one thing to eat. Maybe you can make it tonight. It's National Nachos Day. recognizing the snack that is favored at sporting events across the country in their purest form. Nachos are tortilla chips covered in nacho cheese, queso, or other melted cheese, and served with salsa.
Say that's got a little meat on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And nachos originated in the city of Piedras Negras, Mexico in 1943. Wives of U.S. soldiers right across the border came up and visited the Victory Club after it closed for the day. The maitre d', Ignacio Nacho Anaya, invented a new snack for them. He had very little in the kitchen, so he put it together. What he had tortillas and cheese. He cut it into the tortillas into triangles, added the cheddar cheese, sliced up some jalapenos. Oh, now we're cooking, baby. Jalapenos, and then served it. He called it Nachos Especiales. His nickname was Nachos, and that name stuck for the dish. So enjoy your nachos. Nachos comes in a lot of different toppings.
Yeah,
it's not
they
just
do. They're making a big topping for that.
And of course, ballpark nachos were huge. The NFL sportscaster Howard Cosell tasted them in Texas at Texas Stadium.
Yeah.
And he on the air, he says, "Hey, what's this stuff?" And then, of course, nachos were a little different. There was just kind of melted cheese over chips, but it's all good.
Remember, it's nacho cheese.
It's nacho cheese. Give it back. All right.
All right. So, here's Nacho's twin brother.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 60 in Wilsonville, with the south wind gusting up to 26 miles per hour. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, rainy and breezy with daytime high temperatures in the upper 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 60 in Eugene, with the south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. Chance of rain and breezy across central Oregon with daytime highs near 59 in Prineville, 54 in Bend, and near 50 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers before 11 a.m., then partly sunny and near 58. Rain with gusty winds today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, mid-50s in Brookings, and near 60 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, mostly cloudy with rain likely mainly after 10 a.m. with highs near 59 in Grants Pass, 60 in Medford, and near 56 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, rain in the late afternoon with highs in the low 50s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in near 57 in Wairika, a chance of showers in Redding with a high near 61, partly sunny in mid-60s in Chico, and mostly sunny in upper 60s in Sacramento. Patchy, dense fog across the Bay Area this morning, then clearing to sunny to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 67 in San Francisco, and 69 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
A little bit of a shot of our outdoor picture this morning, and that's looking to the northeast. So still some cloud. Kind of a pretty morning, actually. Pockets of fog out there. Actually, it's kind of mild out there at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll see if we can get some light up on the hill and see if any snow stuck.
Yeah, we might be getting some of that. Well, we look at the events of the day, the news swirling around us, and it seems out of control. A lot of things seem out of control, but here with a great message of encouragement is Dr. David Jeremiah.
Notice the center of worship in heaven. Verses 2 and 3, we read, "And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and he who sat there was like a jasper and a sardius stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne in appearance like an emerald." The key word in this chapter is the word throne. Whenever you see that word, you can just assume that it is a reminder of the sovereignty of God. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, the throne in heaven is occupied. Can I get a witness? It's not empty. God is on his throne and he's governing the affairs of men and women. It may seem like chaos down here, but God has got it in control. And when you read in Revelation about the throne of God, it's a reminder that while chaotic events are taking place on earth, we must never lose sight of the fact that God remains on his throne in heaven.
Well, there's a perspective. Good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. 11 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories on this Thursday morning. And, of course, the fallout from the election is kind of interesting, especially in New York City. The fire commissioner there, the top guy in the fire department, handed in his resignation within 12 hours. He said, I'm not going to work for this guy. He will serve to his full capacity up through December 19th, and he'll make sure that the largest and the most powerful fire department in the world will be run perfectly. But Mr. Tucker, Robert Tucker is his name, he handed in his resignation yesterday, 12 hours after Mr. Zoran Mamdani won the election. They're expecting many more official resignations, especially in the Jewish community. They're saying, no, we will not work for this guy. Okay? I did read something about the election yesterday.
What?
So bear with me here. Hopefully this will come out right.
Okay.
It was a perfectly run campaign for the left.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He and his wife apparently is the brains behind it. They targeted, they marketed, and they won. And they have instincts on the left, much like President Trump has instincts on the right.
Boom, there was a lot of similarity in the way the campaigns were run. You're right.
And they ignored the people, they ignored the press, they hit the nerve, and boy, if there ever is something to study here, it is to study on how he touched the heart of the New Yorkers and with nonsense, but he touched the heart.
Right, but the key word was affordability.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing that ran in the governor's race in New Jersey and the governor's race in Virginia. And by the way, the message that Donald Trump took in the last election.
Yeah.
It's all very similar.
It is, because he was going to, you got money in your pocket.
Right, exactly.
So anyway, the fallout continues. People are leaving long before he takes office, which is not until January 1st. So we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you this. Okay, when we look at that affordability issue, and it's a real issue, okay, what does the mayor of New York or the governor of New Jersey or the governor of Virginia, other than levying taxes and raising taxes or lowering taxes, what do they have to do with the affordability of their residents?
That is a great question. And the only thing I can say is that Mamdani has an interesting problem, okay? How's he going to deliver what he promised?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so the question I keep asking and I don't get the answer to is, what powers does he have? Can he set tax rates? No.
Right.
The only thing he can do is move budgets around.
Yeah, right.
So if he's going to take budget from the police department and give away food, okay, he probably can do that.
Yeah.
But can he force an apartment owner to drop their rates? I doubt it. It probably has to go through the city council, if not the legislature.
Sure. Good luck. Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. In the meantime, some of his key people are going to leave.
Yeah, and we've seen how a governor can affect the affordability of a state. It just happened in our state. Taxes were raised. We just became less affordable.
Yeah. This is, well, anyway, I'd be careful here.
Okay.
All right. The other story is the FAA, because we're now into the longest shutdown in the history of the United States, government shutdown.
Yeah.
The FAA, through the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, has announced yesterday that the flight capacity at 40 major U.S. airports will be reduced by 10%. That could be as high as 4,000 flights a day. Why? The system is overloaded based upon the fact that you have a lot of air traffic controllers working without pay, going into their second pay period without being paid. Now, they're on the job, and God bless them for being there.
You bet, yeah.
But they're doing so without pay. So they're going to reduce flights. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if you plan on flying. I got a flight planned down the road. We'll see if I get canceled.
All right. You know, the media is always, interested in the blame game. Who gets blamed?
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Same old thing.
Yeah.
All right. This story has got my brain on tilt.
Okay.
Of all organizations that get torn apart is the Heritage Foundation. Something is really wrong here, and I'm not sure why this happened. But the president of the foundation, Kevin Roberts, he publicly defended Tucker Carlson's controversial podcast, which was basically promoting anti-Semitism.
Right, yeah.
Well, that has sparked two major figures within the Jewish Affairs Committee inside the Heritage Foundation to leave. They're saying that possibly up to 4 people in the Heritage Foundation will leave in the next couple of days.
Wow.
Because the president of the foundation was supporting Tucker Carlson. Now, there's several stories here.
Okay.
What happened to Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, that's the start. Yeah.
Where did he go off the rails?
No idea.
Okay. And I have a lot of comments there because Tucker Carlson is a great interviewer in the sense that he's willing to talk to anybody, but now he's deliberately looking to interview people who oppose what he supposedly stands for. Something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Okay. So here is Brian Libb. Now, Brian is one of the guys. He's a well-known activist and a former congressional candidate, and he's going to bail. And then you have the president of the Heritage Foundation blasting him. And then Libb says, wait a minute. We're talking about free speech here, and you're accusing me of something here. This changes. Weird. But my problem with this story?
Yeah.
The Heritage Foundation. This is a great institution.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Solid conservative think tank in America. Getting holes shot in the side of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, here's Libb.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, the American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate.
I think we should most certainly draw a line and say that anyone that wants to give a platform to Nick Fuentes has a serious problem. There's a big difference between speaking out, using your voice, using your platform to, as Mr. Roberts said, to disagree with the situation versus canceling. I can speak for myself. I'm not looking to cancel Nick Fuentes. I'm not looking to cancel Tucker Carlson. They have the freedom of speech in America to say whatever they want. As much as I don't disagree with it, they have the freedom to do so. But what I and many others have been doing is speaking out. And I guess from Kevin Roberts' perspective, he sees us speaking out as being a venomous coalition that wants to engage in cancel culture. And that's not the case. And, I was a member as of this morning of the Heritage Foundation's National Task Force to Combat and Monitor Anti-Semitism. But I can, in good faith, stay involved with that task force if someone like Kevin is going to go on camera and call me venomous because I'm raising my voice to speak out against anti-Semitism. Again, I'm not looking to cancel anyone. I'm just raising my voice. But I guess from Kevin's perspective, he has a different approach.
All right, so to explain that, the first guy was Kevin Roberts. He's the president of the Heritage Foundation, complaining about one of his members there, suggesting that he wanted to cancel these other two people, Nick Fuentes and then also Tucker Carlson. No, he wasn't calling for them to be canceled. What he's saying is he disagrees with what they're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So the question I have about Kevin Roberts, okay, why didn't you disagree with Tucker Carlson? Why did you sit there and nod your head?
Good question, yeah.
So I tell you, it's the little leaven that spoils the whole lump. Folks, let me just say this as clearly as I can. Everything you believe, every tenet of your faith is being tested. Where are you going to give in?
Yeah.
Because you're tempted to compromise at every level that you believe in. Everything you believe in as a Christian, everything you believe in as a Christian is being tested. And the question is, you get so tired of it. You get so tired of getting banged around and your head beat up. It's like having your head under a paddle wheel. That sooner or later you just kind of relax and you give in a little bit. And they win.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 questions. Do you know what you believe? Do you know why you believe it? And can you gracefully defend it? Be ready, because every part of your faith is being tested. You can run and hide. A lot of people are doing that. You can stand up and defend it. It's up to you. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Tries to water you down where beliefs cannot be spoken too loud. I'll stand for truth. Where they clean your
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
How y'all doing out there? Happy Thursday. Nice weather in the neighborhood. A little bit leftover rain here and there.
A little bit. Spots of fog. Be careful, but all in all, pretty good.
So, yesterday the Supreme Court started to hear the arguments of President Trump's tariffs. And did you know that Oregon's own Attorney General testified and said that President Trump violated the Constitution and defied Congress when he slapped import taxes on goods from particularly every other country, said the Oregon Solicitor General Ben Gutman, argued on behalf of the Supreme Court for the state of Oregon.
Yeah.
So, in the meantime, Secretary of the Treasury, or Secretary of Commerce, or Treasury Secretary Bissett, he's pretty confident that the president will win this.
Really? Do you agree with him on this?
I don't know, because there's a part of this that's hard for me to understand. The 9 justices at the court heard the arguments on behalf of the states and businesses opposing Trump's administration. He said that the attorney arguing for the president, U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer, said the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, gives the president the authority to levy tariffs.
Now, did Bissett say this before or after some of the audio of the justices questioning the attorneys on this were released? Because, boy, the justices sound very skeptical in their regard to President Trump's authority on this.
Yeah.
I mean, really skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know. This is, well, I don't want to be a scare tactic here.
No, I agree with you.
But the only thing I can say is that if there's got to be something in the middle on this, but like everything else, it's so partisan, I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. That's why we see an Oregon contingent arguing against the president in front of the Supreme Court. I mean, you're right, it's anti-Trump.
So here's another story, a local story that's kind of interesting. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has signed a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with the United Kingdom to enhance economic development. In other words, this is so funny to me. We got people that hate Trump's. The fact that he's got 2 feet on the earth, they can't stand it. Okay?
Right, yeah.
And they turn around and act like him. She goes out and makes a business deal with the UK over digital technology, semiconductors, cybersecurity, and clean energy.
And what does it all mean?
Well, I guess we're going to have a trade agreement with the UK on some kind of energy deal and high-tech stuff.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Governor, the only thing I can say is make the business community friendly where these people will want to do businesses in Oregon.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Why do they want to come here?
Why would they, yeah.
So is this a one-way deal? You're going to buy our stuff, we're not going to buy. I don't know what the deal is, but she reached out and did a Trump deal with the UK. Yeah. Okay, well, it's kind of funny. I thought it was kind of a funny case, you know. Anyway. How do you explain
I don't know.
How do you explain that?
Yeah. And what does it mean? What will we get from this?
All right, in the meantime, Governor Newsom spoke at a victory rally for the passing of Prop 50, and here's what he had to say.
Let me underscore, it's been a good evening for everybody, not just the Democratic Party. But what a night for the Democratic Party. A party that is in its ascendancy. A party that's on its toes, no longer on its heels. From coast to coast, sea to shining sea. But it was not just a victory tonight for the Democratic Party, it was a victory for the United States of America, for the people of this country and the principles that our founding fathers lived and died for. And so we're proud. We're proud here in California to be part of this narrative this evening. We're proud of the work that the people of the state of California did tonight to send a powerful message to an historic president. Donald Trump is an historic president. He is the most historically unpopular president in modern history. In every critical category, Donald Trump is underwater. He promised to make us healthier. He promised to make us wealthier. We're sicker and poorer. And he fundamentally understands that. Why else would he call Greg Abbott saying he's entitled to 5 seats? Why else is he trying to rig the midterm elections before one single vote is even cast? He understands his position at this moment in the United States of America.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I guess you could explode from listening to that, but you kind of go, okay, this is a classic example of blaming you for what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Classic example. And it's also a classic example. He's saying anything to become the next nominee for president.
You hit it right on the head.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything about California.
No. You know, this is a good night for the country that we gerrymandered our state.
So the question I have is whether or not, I don't know the answer to my own question.
Okay.
And that is whether or not the commissioners at the various counties throughout California who are going to be gerrymandered into a red district have any kind of pushback. Can they file lawsuits to stop this?
Good question.
And what is the basis of the suit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay, we'll see. All right, take a look at the weather. Here's what Nacho says about it. What is it? What's going on here, Nacho?
Yeah. Well, we see a lot of moisture coming in, and what we're looking at is showers today, showers again diminishing tomorrow, daytime highs in the upper 50s, and then a little bit of sun poking out on Saturday, and we're going to go mid-60s Saturday and Sunday, and then cloudy weather into the week next week. So a little bit of moisture coming our way, but then tapering off, and we have a dry spell coming behind it. So about a day and a half of rain continuing. Well, we are looking at the affordability issue, obviously, and it is a common theme in campaigns that were just run from the left and what we saw our president run from in the last presidential cycle. Well, on Fox Business's Stuart Varney, they spoke with Liz Peek, who warned that despite Mamdani's policies, they're likely to fail on affordability. People are angry that the Trump administration hasn't done enough to lower costs.
But when you saw Hakeem Jeffries asked yesterday whether Zohran Mamdani was the future of his party, he said no. And the reason he said no is that he is an incredibly polarizing figure. And by the way, his victory speech last night made him even more polarizing and off-putting to moderate Democrats across the country. So yes, this can play well in New York City. Is it really going to play well in Ohio and Pennsylvania or Iowa? That's where these toss-up seats are. I don't think it will. I do think that Trump voters don't always come out in the midterms. And I think that President Trump has to really exhort them to show up, because otherwise his agenda is dead in the water next year. And I think there's an awful lot left to do, Stuart, to correct all the problems that emerged during Joe Biden's presidency. It's not just immigration. But by the way, you talked about affordability, and obviously that was the key issue in New York. I think that Zohran Mamdani is going to have a very difficult time proving that he can improve on the affordability of housing, for example, because his policies won't work. But it's a little bit like Trump winning on inflation. Inflation has come down from the worst of the Biden years, but it's still too high. And voters are really angry about this.
They are.
They're angry about prices and affordability. And I think Republicans have to address this throughout the country. And I think that'll get them back on track.
She's spot on.
Yep.
She's absolutely spot on, because the president is touted. I mean, listen, he has improved things from the Biden era, but he hasn't gotten it to where he said it would be. And it's got a long ways to go. Now, there's some other factors in all of that, but she's absolutely right. I think he's going to have to turn his attention on midterm elections. He may be in Air Force One flying to little congressional seats and campaigns all over the country.
And isn't it interesting, though? You know, we know the old phrase, action speaks louder than words. Democrats are talking about affordability. Government's closed. By the way, the government's closed because they won't pass a clean resolution, because they want to tack over $1 trillion worth of new spending on top of this. And they're talking about affordability. Who pays that money? We do.
Well, like $4.3 billion affordability.
Exactly, in Oregon. Yes.
All right, we'll be right back as we're looking for nacho cheese.
Yeah, nachos.
Mercy comes to me, falling down like rain, changing everything.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great, and the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year, because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
When plumbing emergencies hit, and they do, you want help from a plumber you can trust, and you need it now. Onnit Plumbing to the rescue. Onnit Plumbing gets the job done right with integrity and quality craftsmanship. Onnit Plumbing offers military discounts, senior discounts, and discounts for KDOV listeners too. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Onnit Plumbing, CCB 229436. No job too big or small. Onnit Plumbing does them all. See us at onnitplumbing.net. onnitplumbing.net.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
New math. Hey, we're talking about new math here.
Yeah, you know what? I still haven't figured out the old math, so I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
You still use a calculator?
I have it on my phone. Yes, all the time.
Can you still work formulas?
Pretty near. Depends on what you got for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you do math longhand?
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, but by the way, math is changing. I see these problems that come up on Facebook once in a while, and it's got an equation, and you're supposed to put your answer in there, and then you go and you look and see what everybody's put. It's all over the board because people are now looking at equations differently and what comes first in the equation. I'm like, wait a minute. What is? Why did you ask me that question? That's one of my pet peeves.
All right. So if you're going to go from 20 to 30,
okay, I just step on the foot feet a little bit on my car.
Oh, so are there 10 letters in there, or 10 numbers in there, or 11 numbers in there? Okay, let's get out of here. We're going to check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. Going to begin this half hour with a dangerous trend in American politics. In recent years, anti-Semitism has been a serious problem on the left. Well, now the Republican Party is dealing with a growing issue of its own from some on the extreme right. The issue exploded in the national spotlight recently when a prominent podcaster hosted a well-known anti-Semite on his program. CBN's chief political analyst David Brody has the story.
Republican conservatives are facing a looming crisis. The evil of anti-Semitism has infiltrated the ranks.
In the last 6 months, I've seen more anti-Semitism on the right than I have in my entire life. This is a poison, and I believe we are facing an existential crisis in our party and in our country.
This time, it's not limited to podcaster Candace Owens spouting Jewish conspiracy theories. This past week, center stage belonged to this guy, Nick Fuentes, who has suggested perfidious Jews should be executed.
If you are against organized Jewry, you're on my team.
His social media videos are seen by millions, especially young men who champion the America First mantra. Recently, popular influencer Tucker Carlson gave Fuentes a huge platform on his show.
Nick Fuentes, thank you for doing this.
Instead of challenging Fuentes on past statements of denying the severity of the Holocaust and praising the evil Joseph Stalin, Carlson gave him a pass with virtually no pushback. Josh Hammer, who wrote the book Israel and Civilization, says Carlson is playing with fire because we live in an era when public institutions are losing trust, so we don't know exactly who and what to believe.
I think the American people have lost the ability in many ways to distinguish right from wrong, fact from fiction. And putting on my historian's cap, David, thinking back over the past few thousand years of Western civilizational history, there are historically been one people who most disproportionately are harmed when a society loses the ability to distinguish right from wrong, fact from fiction. That, unfortunately, is the Jewish people.
Hammer and other conservatives have watched with dismay as Carlson spends an inordinate amount of time focusing on Jews.
It is an actual deep, profound obsession, and a very unhealthy obsession at that.
His guests range from Holocaust deniers to those accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza, and even suggesting Israel's spy agency is somehow involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Carlson also insulted millions of evangelicals during the Fuentes interview by calling Christian Zionist support for Israel a brain virus.
I dislike them more than anybody, because what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian.
Although he since apologized, the damage from the program remains. Liz Harrington is a former spokeswoman for President Trump.
When I listen to that Nick Fuentes interview, I hear two people that really don't seem very familiar with the Bible. Israel will always be attacked. It will always be a dividing line because it's central to God's plan for salvation for everyone. And you know who can't stand that? the devil.
That chaos played out further in conservative circles when the Heritage Foundation's president, Kevin Roberts, defended Carlson's interview with Fuentes.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail.
Roberts later attempted to apologize, although it still left angry staffers and turmoil inside the conservative think tank. In the end, this creeping anti-Semitism on the far right could be a nightmare for the GOP. And if it's not dealt with quickly, Hammer predicts disaster.
That would be the death knell for the Republican Party as a politically salient political vehicle in America. The moment really does call for the leading men of the moment, folks like President Trump, folks like Vice President J.D. Vance, whoever else wants to rise to the challenge, who has the gravitas, the credibility to do so, to do the right thing.
Until then, the forecast will be for tough sledding and slippery roads ahead for a Republican president and Congress trying to hold on to power. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
Turn now to a major legal case that could affect the United States economy. The Supreme Court is weighing in on the issue of tariffs as justices are examining whether the president has the right to use Emergency Powers Act to set the rates on tariffs. If the president loses the case, it could rattle his economic agenda. CBN, Charlene Aaron has the story.
It's being called the most economically consequential case in decades, and it centers around a law giving the president power to regulate trade in response to an emergency. A majority of the justices, including several conservatives, expressed doubts over the president's use of emergency powers to impose tariffs.
Could the president impose a 50% tariff on gas-powered cars and auto parts to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat from abroad of climate change?
It's very likely that could be done. Very likely.
I think that has to be the logic of your view.
Yeah, in other words, obviously this administration would say that's a hoax, it's not a real crisis, but...
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, so... Boy, there's a lot there.
Oh, man.
What do you do?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 60 in Wilsonville, with a south wind gusting up to 26 miles per hour. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, rainy and breezy with daytime high temperatures in the upper 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 60 in Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. Chance of rain and breezy across central Oregon with daytime highs near 59 in Prineville, 54 in Bend, and near 50 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers before 11 a.m., then partly sunny and near 58. Rain with gusty winds today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, mid-50s in Brookings, and near 60 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, mostly cloudy with rain likely mainly after 10 a.m. with highs near 59 in Grants Pass, 60 in Medford, and near 56 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, rain in the late afternoon with highs in the low 50s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in near 57 in Wairika, a chance of showers in Redding with a high near 61, partly sunny in mid-60s in Chico, and mostly sunny in upper 60s in Sacramento. Patchy, dense fog across the Bay Area this morning, then clearing to sunny to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 67 in San Francisco, and 69 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot this morning. It just shows you some low-laying fog that we have over the valley. Clouds over the top. All that will give way a little bit later on. We'll see how that all turns out.
Yeah, well, it was a smooth move in shaving technology, and it happened on this day in history.
On November 6, 1928, Colonel Jacob Schick patented a shaving implement that would soon revolutionize morning routines everywhere, the world's first electric razor. Schick, a U.S. Army colonel and inventor, was inspired by the idea of creating a quick, safe shave without water, soap, or a blade. His first model hit the market in 1931, bulky, noisy, and expensive, but men loved the convenience. By the late 1940s, millions were ditching their razors and lather for Schick's electric innovation. Nearly a century later, his idea still powers the electric shavers we use today. Proof that sometimes the best ideas come from a close shave.
I didn't realize that Schick was a colonel in the Army. A colonel and an inventor. Colonel Schick is what they called him. How about that?
Really?
So, did it make you throw away your wet shave device?
Nope.
No, me neither. I think, the dry shave approach is good under certain circumstances. When you can't get to a sink and get hot water and do that deal. Yeah. I mean, it's appropriate then, but other than that, it just sits down in my cabinet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yesterday, the National Report, Harvard professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz,
your buddy,
weighs in on the, here it is, the IEEP, which is what is now being tested before the Supreme Court of the president's powers to impose tariffs. And here's what Mr. Dershowitz had to say.
I think that's his weakest argument. I'm surprised that was the argument that the administration relied on. I think they have much, much stronger arguments, both legislative arguments and constitutional arguments. But the court may say, look, we don't think it's an emergency, but that's not our decision to make. It's for the president to make. He has, the CIA and the FBI. He has all the sources of intelligence that we don't have. So although we may disagree with him, we may in the end have to defer to his constitutional authority. This is not an easy case. And I don't think anybody can predict based on the arguments necessarily what the split will be or what the outcome will be.
Well, this is critical. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If he loses this, we could see all kinds of economic emergencies imposed.
Well, this gives the football to the Democrats because they just ran successfully in this midterm on the issue of affordability. Yeah. Well, we're going to see changes happen if he loses this.
All right, we'll take a quick affordable break.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
It's a turbulent time. Our values are under attack and being challenged with so much coming at us every day. Focus Today with Perry Atkinson helps you sort it out to bring you hope and encouragement so you can stay alert.
But I can't find the crime. I've been doing this for 60 years.
Focus Today, every weekday, an in-depth look and conversation with experts who have a finger on the pulse of what's going on in America and the world.
Anticipating a strike by Iran.
Focusing on the day's events.
Democrats have weaponized our entire government.
Perry Atkinson asks the questions that you want to know.
What's your take today, these many years later?
It's an hour you need to strengthen your faith and stay informed on the urgent issues coming at us.
For a time such as this, Focus Today is an important hour you need to see.
Watch Focus Today weekdays on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. See past episodes and more at thedove.us.
Thousands of satisfied customers make Jim Clark's Consignment Country the most recommended RV consignment lot on the West Coast. Even dealers recommend us. That success comes from dealing with only the cleanest pre-owned RVs at the best prices, no high-pressured salespeople, and treating customers with respect. And we've been doing this in the same location for over 40 years. Before you buy or sell your RV, see why so many satisfied customers recommend Jim Clark's Consignment Country. Family owned and operated at 1630 Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass.
Okay, good morning to you, and I think I don't know what's next. I think I threw away the wrong piece of paper.
Jonathan Tobin.
Huh?
You had Jonathan Tobin?
Oh, I did.
On Focus Today.
Yeah, he's a rabbi in New York, and here's what he had to say about day before yesterday.
Well, the contagion of anti-Semitism is a very serious problem. It's as we've seen in the United States, it exists very strongly on the left, but it also exists on the right. We have people like Nick Fuentes and the Groypers who are trying to get their noses inside the Republican tent, which is deeply unfortunate because, the overwhelming majority of Republicans are very pro-Israel. It's the Democrats who have become the anti-Israel party, but there's obviously a strain on the right that holds on to this. The great historian Ruth Weiss spoke of anti-Semitism as the most successful ideology of the 20th century because it was like a virus that attached itself to other ideologies, whether it was fascism, Nazism, communism, Islamism, and now in this country we have woke progressive beliefs that have, to which anti-Semitism has become integral. So, and social media, as it does for every idea, it becomes a platform. It becomes a megaphone for this hate. And the people who are promoting it are very skillful, and it requires those of us who know the difference between right and wrong to answer it and to seek to counter this, and to do so, within the context of the fact that anti-Semitism is against American values. It's against the basic traditions of the American Republic dating back to George Washington. And, it's something that can't be tolerated if we're going to have a decent country, because the hate like that, which is, as we've seen even in this controversy, over Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, where, he's accusing Christian evangelicals who are Christian Zionists of being heretics. And having a brain virus, this is not just about the Jews. This is about subverting, the United States and our basic values of freedom.
The only way that Tucker Carlson can correct this, he's got to come out with a full-blown apology. The president needs to step in the middle of this, like today. And address it. It won't happen.
Yeah.
And I think this is a result of Christian immaturity.
Absolutely.
This is a result of not proper theological training. And you don't say things like this and still call yourself a Christian.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not saying that Carlson isn't a Christian. What I'm saying is that he has not grounded himself. It appears to me, it's a judgment on my part, but it seems like to me he has not thought through theologically what he believes. He's got the Old and New Testament mixed up, and it's this replacement theology that is the cancer of Christianity. And if you guys go down this road, have a nice day. Because replacement theology is growing within Christendom, within the United States at a rapid rate. And it's serious. It is the cancer of our theology. And you better really think about what I just said.
I am surprised at how many ripples, the waves that have come off of this interview. And again, too, quite frankly, Tucker Carlson's off the map for me. There's nothing about, I don't even know where I can go and watch his podcast.
Well, think about what he was. He got fired from Fox for being too conservative. So he ended up being a conservative martyr. Okay? And everybody thought he was the greatest. Well, then all of a sudden sits down, he starts doing this podcast, and this other part of him comes out.
Yeah, right.
And you kind of go, okay. And I'm not saying this to defend Carlson. I am saying it as a fact. It doesn't appear to me that he has got his theology straightened out.
Well,
and you can't put a foot in both camps.
Right.
And this is the problem that Christianity has. Christianity has a problem, and it's Christian maturity.
Yep.
And
well, this might help.
I need to shut up. You need to go to Bible school. That's why we started one here. Go take a couple of classes. Just take some basic classes. Get your theology straightened out. Understand that why we have an Old Testament and why we have a New Testament. Don't buy the baloney that we don't need the Old Testament. You can't have the New Testament without the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And the list goes on. And if you want to put Israel in a box and say, well, they were Jesus killers, well, have a nice day.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to, it's just crazy. I don't know why. I think the other thing is fame gets you in a corner, and you think you're something when you're not.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what happened to Carlson. It's really disappointing. It's sad to watch.
Yep.
Really is sad to watch.
Yep.
I guess we had an opinion on that, didn't we?
Yes, we did. All right.
Oh, gosh. Here's a great scripture for you today. James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. If you're a Christian, you're going to be tested. Get ready, because there's more testing coming. Have a nice day.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
The big idea of Christianity is to live coram Deo, to live all of one's life in the presence of God, under the authority of God, and to the honor and to the glory of God. Let me say that again. The big idea, coram Deo, is to live one's life in the presence of God, under the authority of God, to the honor and glory of God. That's what it's all about. Jesus said it succinctly this way: if you love me, keep my commandments. Which is to say, if you want to please me, you please me by doing what I have commanded you to do.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Seen on KURK3 and these Dove TV affiliates. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is where Jerry Bilden gets his nachos covered with cheese. We'll prove it to you coming up in just a few moments.
That's the absolute truth. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Boy, quite the rain yesterday, and we do have a lot of debris on the roadway, but it's kind of mild down here in the valley. I don't know what it's like at the top.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get a shot later. Our guys in the control room there, Master Control.
See if we got any snow. Yeah. And by the way, do you have any Mount Ashland?
Oh, there it is.
No, that's the Valley.
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah, that's not it. Yeah. So anyway, are there any leaves left on the trees at your house? Yesterday, kind of did mine in.
You know where they all went?
Where?
In the pool.
In the pool. No doubt. No doubt. Well, I'm telling you.
There could be a tree 40 miles away, okay, and the leaves would come off that tree. And
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay,
Yeah.
here's the dilemma. You got leaves coming down on your yard.
Yeah.
And as they're coming down, do you take time to, go bit by bit and rake up the leaves and get them out of the way even before the leaves are all down? Or do you wait until the leaves are all down and you are thoroughly messed out? Now you got to do the whole thing at once.
I do it a little every day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I try to stay on it.
Yeah.
But it all depends too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look out there and I'm tired. I go, so what?
So
Why bother?
I've been saying, I did one little tidy, we had guests coming over, and I thought, well, it'd be nice to make the front lawn look a little good. And I did all that, and like later that day I looked, I go, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
What did I even bother for?
Well, the worst one is when you're blowing your leaves away.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're working your way down the sidewalk or the driveway, or whatever, you turn around and they're all back. You're blowing them out here and they're back over here.
Hey, I had a fun project the other day. I had all the grandkids over and we were doing stuff. I gave one of them the leaf blower and I said, go blow the sidewalk, go blow the patio and stuff. Oh my goodness.
Everything got blown.
Oh my goodness. You should have seen what it looked like when it was done. I don't even know if the...
Well, why don't you get 2 blowers and let them have blowing blowers?
There's got to be something dangerous about that.
No. That's perfectly fine. Their mom and dad won't think anything of it. All right, good morning to you. A lot going on. What do you got special today?
Well, first of all, it's National Cash Back Day. It's basically about finding the best sales on holiday items that you're planning to spend money on anyway. But it brings up this whole subject of cash back. We see all these cash back credit cards these days.
Just give me a lower interest rate.
Just give me, yes. Isn't that what it really is all about anyway, is what we actually pay for that credit? And if you're giving me cash back, just lower the interest rate and let me see exactly how much this is costing me. I don't get it. And then there's the other thing. There are credit cards that you get miles on your airline plan.
Yeah.
So it goes towards tickets.
Right.
Can they just how about you just cut that interest rate? I'll take those dollars and I'll put it into a travel fund.
Well, here's what we don't know.
What?
How much money are they making that they can offer those kind of incentives?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a great point. Because I think, don't they make the most amount of money when people don't take care of their credit card balance on a monthly basis?
Absolutely.
They're carrying it. So yeah, so it far outweighs the cash back that you're getting, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Have fun on your National Cash Back Day. It's also time for music. National Saxophone Day, commemorating the birth of the woodwinds inventor Adolph Sax on this day in 1814. And there have been a lot of famous saxophone players: Stan Getz, Jimmy Dorsey, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, and Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill!
Bill, he went on the Arsenio Hall. Yeah, he just slid into the Arsenio
I have
Hall
to say
show.
this. That probably got him the presidency.
You know what? I was watching the show when it happened, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me.
That was a classic move.
Ray-Ban Wayfarers, the tenor sax, and mediocre playing.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It got him. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, it is. And Pam's been texting me this morning about this. It's National Men Make Dinner Day.
All right.
But this is really created for guys who really don't know their way around the kitchen and are not familiar with cooking appliances, as well as the women in their lives who deserve the day off. So Pam texted me, said, so what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Could be NoHo's, could be, what's the bento over here?
Kona.
Kona, yeah, which is kind of a bento style.
Absolutely,
anyway.
yeah.
So, honey?
And there's Costco. Give me a break.
Right.
There's no excuse for poor cooking with Costco.
Right. Now, you know what? I got to tell you, I cut out the section of this that said it doesn't count if you don't dirty some utensils, pots, and pans.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You take it out of the Costco wrapper and you put it in your plate and you stick it in the oven, pull it out, and
I'm in. I'm in.
There you go.
Honey, it's what's for dinner.
Okay.
Also, this could be two, because we only have one thing to eat. It's National Nachos Day. The snack favored at sporting events across the country. In their purest form, nachos are tortilla chips covered in nacho cheese, queso, or other melted cheese and served with salsa. That's basically it. And there are a lot of other things that we do top nachos with. It was invented in 1943 in Piedra Negras, Mexico. And the guy that did it was Maitre d' Ignacio Nacho Anaya. And he had some military wives that came over the border, and it was near the end of the day. They were closed. They didn't have much food, but he had the essential ingredients to create the very first nachos. They loved it. It took off.
Well, there.
And it had, we've been getting it ever since.
Yeah. Then it's actually actually can be a meal in some places because they put the meat and everything on it.
Absolutely. Now check this out. It really took off. In 1949, it was featured at the Texas State Fair. People loved it. In the 70s, it became a staple in sports stadiums. You go, get nachos. But the creator of nachos never sought to claim ownership of the dish, but his son contacted a lawyer in 1960 to explore the possibility. Unfortunately, too much time had passed, and the recipe was deemed free to the public.
All right.
So they got no compensation for nachos.
Wow. All right, 7 minutes past the hour. Here's Nacho's twin brother, El Gero.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 60 in Wilsonville, with a south wind gusting up to 26 miles per hour. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, rainy and breezy with daytime high temperatures in the upper 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 60 in Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. Chance of rain and breezy across central Oregon with daytime highs near 59 in Prineville, 54 in Bend, and near 50 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers before 11 a.m., then partly sunny and near 58. Rain with gusty winds today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, mid-50s in Brookings, and near 60 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, mostly cloudy with rain likely mainly after 10 a.m. with highs near 59 in Grants Pass, 60 in Medford, and near 56 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, rain in the late afternoon with highs in the low 50s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in near 57 in Wairika, a chance of showers in Redding with a high near 61, partly sunny in mid-60s in Chico, and mostly sunny in upper 60s in Sacramento. Patchy, dense fog across the Bay Area this morning, then clearing to sunny to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 67 in San Francisco, and 69 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of the valley this morning shows you that the fog has kind of capped us in a little bit, and it's locked in some very mild temperatures. So above that, high clouds. Okay.
Right. Well, we love to go into church. We love to sing to the Lord, and we call it worship. And with a great message on worship, here is the Dr. David Jeremiah.
He sees the elders bowing down and worshiping. He sees the beauty and majesty of heaven. God gave this experience to John to encourage his heart. Worship took him from the loneliness of his discouragement right into the control room of the universe, where he could see God and his plan for the entire universe. This is one of the great byproducts of worship. It lifts our eyes off the struggle and places them on the sovereign and gives us perspective. I don't know if you've ever had moments like this. I don't get discouraged very often. I do believe that it's one of the tools that Satan can get me if he wants to, and I've had plenty of reason recently to deal with that. But when that happens, I find some great worship music, and I get alone. I remember we used to have a singer that came here, and I used to tell her, you don't sing to us, you sing through us. Worship music doesn't play for you, it plays through you. And when you listen to it and you realize that it's about the great God we serve and his plan for us, somehow the things of earth grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. I encourage you to experience that. That's what worship is, not just to bring praise to the Lord. The byproduct of what it does for us and it takes our eyes off of the troublesome things that are going on around us and remind us, not always going to be this way, friends. God's got a plan, and we're a part of it. It's as if Jesus is saying to John, John, things are not like they seem. Let me show you how they really are. Step into the throne room, and I will show you true reality. And here's what John saw. Things are not out of control. Satan has not won. Evil has not triumphed. God is on his throne. Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, good stuff. I was just telling Jerry, if you get a chance, last Sunday, Turning Point, his program, they did a show they did a service, from the Walt Disney Classical Concert Hall in L.A.
Okay.
And the whole program was on heaven.
All right.
And they took their orchestra and their choir, and they had some guests come, artists come. And it is stunning. I mean, it is. You go to their website and watch it.
Okay.
So phase 1 was this week or last week, and phase 2 will be this week. So it's about 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
But you may want to watch it. It is unbelievable. It is first class all the way around.
All right.
Yeah, it's all about heaven. All right. All right. Well, let's take a look at some of the top stories, and the fallout from the big election on Tuesday continues. A couple things that are happening. The Fire Department New York Commissioner Robert Tucker handed in his resignation yesterday, less than 12 hours after the Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani was announced the winner of the new mayor of New York. He said he tendered his resignation the morning after, primarily being an anti-Israel person, and he said, I can't do this, and he said, I will be here through December 19th. I will make sure that the best fire department in the world is maintained, and then do a proper transition over to the new commissioner. So this is the beginning of some.
Yeah.
We know that people are leaving. We know a lot of police people are retiring early. This is pretty major stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch what happens in the police department as well. We know that we've seen a lot of retirements out of the police department, but this has got to escalate it.
Yeah. So he's just not going to do it. He's just, why sit there and get picked on?
Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, the government shutdown, which is the longest in the U.S. history, is causing some problems in air travel. The Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, announced yesterday that there will be a 10% reduction at 40 of the major airports across the country. This means thousands of flights a day will be canceled. And the primary reason is that we have most of our air traffic controllers now are into their second week without being paid, but they are working. The fatigue factor and everything else has got to be pretty intense. So this is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And finger pointing going on with whatever. I don't know where the breaking point is.
Yeah, and the blame game. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Yep.
This next story is actually, as we're talking, is still gaining steam. But the president of the Heritage Foundation is under fire for defending Tucker Carlson's anti-Semitic comments and an interview that he has done with some people that are very anti-Semitic, and basically saying Christians that I guess Zionist Christians would be people with a brain disease or something. This whole interview went crazy. Well, the president of the Heritage Foundation defended Tucker Carlson. In the meantime, staff members within the Heritage Foundation are turning in their resignation. A headline just broke a few moments ago, and I'll see if I can find it here for you. This is happening as we're speaking this morning. This is major stuff. And that is right here. It says the Heritage staff revolts and demands that Roberts resign because of his comments. The only thing I can say about this, the Heritage Foundation has such a high rating of integrity.
Yeah.
To have this kind of controversy in their organization is cancer. And so in the meantime, Brian Libb was the one that is speaking back against the president, Robert. So the beginning of this clip, you'll see the president make a comment against Libb, and then the second part of this clip, Libb will respond to that comment, and here it is.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, The American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate.
I think we should most certainly draw a line and say that anyone that wants to give a platform to Nick Fuentes has a serious problem. There's a big difference between speaking out, using your voice, using your platform to, as Mr. Roberts said, to disagree with the situation versus canceling. I can speak for myself. I'm not looking to cancel Nick Fuentes. I'm not looking to cancel Tucker Carlson. They have the freedom of speech in America to say whatever they want. As much as I don't disagree with it, they have the freedom to do so. But what I and many others have been doing is speaking out. And I guess from Kevin Roberts' perspective, he sees us speaking out as being a venomous coalition that wants to engage in cancel culture. And that's not the case. And, I was a member as of this morning of the Heritage Foundation's National Task Force to Combat and Monitor Anti-Semitism. But I can, in good faith, stay involved with that task force if someone like Kevin is going to go on camera and call me venomous because I'm raising my voice to speak out against anti-Semitism. Again, I'm not looking to cancel anyone. I'm just raising my voice. But I guess from Kevin's perspective, he has a different approach.
Well, to call your colleagues venomous. That's pretty bad.
So what's his future?
Okay, well, according to the headlines that broke here about 2 hours ago, we'll see. But apparently the staff is pretty much in revolt against him remaining as president. Look, this is over free speech. Nobody called for anybody to be canceled.
Right.
This is an argument about truth. This is an argument about what somebody said to be truth and the other people disagreeing with. That's the democracy. That's the American way. Okay. But when he called his own staff venomous and accused them of cancel culture, it's just not true. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know where this is going to go. My heart just is torn. Mm-hmm. I read a lot of stuff from the Heritage Foundation. Mm-hmm. It is credible stuff. Mm-hmm. You can go online and take some of their short courses, and it's really remarkable stuff. Okay. But to have this kind of a controversy inside an organization that's known for its integrity, oh my stars, this is so damaging.
Yeah.
So damaging. All right. Well, so much for all that.
Nachos.
Nachos. Do you like the one with the hamburger on it? The salsa.
I like it all.
Jalapenos.
Oh, yeah.
And the Tabasco sauce.
Oh, yeah. More Tabasco, please.
Okay, we'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax-deductible.
It can be puzzling assembling all the right pieces for your insurance needs in retirement. I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. Guiding you through the stormy seas of insurance, Lighthouse stands out as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
All right, how y'all doing out there? Okay, well, interesting times. All right, well, here's an interesting one. As you know, the Supreme Court started hearing arguments yesterday about the president's power as it relates to tariff. Well, guess what? In the state of Oregon, our own Oregon Solicitor General Ben Gutman argued before the Supreme Court against the power of the president. So he was one of the testimonies against it. As we heard already today, the arguments about this are very, very interesting. Some of the pushback from the justices have been pretty alarming.
Yeah, it has. They're very skeptical.
So here it is. The arguing for the president is U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer. He said this: the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, that's the IEEPA, gives the president authority to levy tariffs as a foreign policy tool. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we'll do is we'll see.
Yeah. Well, again, too, as I mentioned, just in the tone of the questioning, even from conservative justices, led a lot of people to raise eyebrows because it looks like they are very skeptical about the president's power in this. So, again, we'll see.
All right. In the meantime, this is so interesting. Our governor, Tina Kotek, which, you know, she had this emergency, then she delayed the emergency, which is kind of, you know, the whole thing about our tax bill.
Yeah.
Well, she entered into what they call a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, with the United Kingdom to enhance economic development. So,
what does it mean?
Well, I just have to laugh at this. These people who hate Trump so much turn around and do things like him. So she's doing a business deal with the UK, saying that the agreement aims to strengthen ties in digital technology, semiconductors, cybersecurity, and clean energy. The agreement is a signal of renewal of strength, partnership between Oregon and the United Kingdom, and it'll also work to improve avenues for the state of Washington as well.
Okay, so
it's some kind of a trade business deal.
Well, is it just symbolic, or are we going to see British industry coming to our state?
Well, we'd have to kind of make things a little friendly.
Oh, you would think so, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, isn't that something?
Yeah.
So anyway, so much for that. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Thursday morning. Good morning to you. Let's see how the big board is faring. And thank you, Preston, over there at Smart Lawn. There's a good guy. I like Preston.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, the Dow's not happy with all this stuff going on this morning.
They're listening to the Supreme Court questioning the administration.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So the Dow's off 216, the Nas is off 171, and the S&P down 29 and a third. So I don't know. This is scary. In the meantime, that pushed gold back up over $4,007 an ounce. Silver is back up to 48, and crude oil down $1, 63.15. So see what happens.
Well, the Mamdani phenomenon. You know,
the Mamdani phenomenon.
Yeah, say that 3 times.
That sounds like
yeah, baby. Well, he had a particular tone in his campaign, but many are saying that the tone in his victory speech was a little bit different. And news commentator Liz Peek responded to this clip of Zohran Mamdani's victory speech on Fox Business's Varney and Company.
This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt. An agenda that will freeze the rents for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Make buses fast and free. And deliver universal child care across our city. Years from now, may our only regret be that this day took so long to come.
Very aggressive, very feisty. So we'll see how that plays out when, in fact, his policies either don't go through or don't work. I mean, I think he's setting himself up for being judged on whether or not these policies become enacted, Stuart. And, you know, I thought it was hilarious, actually, that he invoked Eugene Debs. 99% of his followers have no idea who Eugene Debs was. He was the founder of the Socialist Party in the United States, and he ran for president as a socialist. Guess what? No one's ever heard of him because he didn't win. He didn't make things happen. Yes, his name is vaguely ticked in the history books as having brought socialism to the United States. That's about it.
Well, let me say a little bit as I was reading about the campaign. I will say this, from the Democratic point of view and where the Democrats are right now, and especially the radical left part of the Democratic Party, the Mamdani campaign was brilliantly put together and organized and executed.
Okay.
He didn't pay any attention to the critics. He hammered affordability.
Yes.
He emotionally engaged his constituents, his voters. He got them on a very emotional thing, which is cost of living. And he promised the moon, and he won. Okay?
Right.
He had instincts that nobody else on the left has had. Now, the question is, does he become the new DNC leader?
Oh, boy. Oh.
And what does Newsom do with this when this guy's getting more attention than Newsom is?
Well, he'll find a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does he embrace him?
I doubt it. I don't know, but isn't it also interesting, Perry, that in this cycle we saw the Democrat candidate for governor of New Jersey as well as Virginia kind of use the same theme that Mamdani. It was about affordability. You know what you didn't really hear from them are their social reconstructive issues on men and women, on sports, on all of these things they retreated from. Does that mean they don't believe that way anymore? No. It's just a little smokescreen. Let's talk about affordability. Let's not talk about these other things that we bring into play.
I think what's so amazing to me, the people who follow left leaders, is they do see him as somewhat of a messianic type thing. They don't think it through, because name me one thing that a left leader has delivered to its constituents.
Oh, great point. Except higher taxes?
And more, they get poorer.
Yes, right. But you know what's interesting?
But they become dependent. See, so it's an amazing thing. It really is. You know what I thought of when he got swept into office?
What?
See how easily the Antichrist can get swept into office?
My goodness, yeah.
Well,
and you made a good point before this election. You were talking about who they should be gearing their message towards. You know, that woman demographic.
They did.
They did, and they won huge.
They hit that target. I have given my little seminar to several groups of people, and I said, watch this. And guess what? He targeted them and won.
Yes, they did, in huge numbers. Yep.
He did. So, all right, well, hey, listen, I was thinking about nachos?
Yes.
You know, I have to keep it simple.
Okay.
What's wrong with some fresh corn chips,
Okay, yeah.
and then hot cheese over the top?
Yes. And, you can have some salsa with it if you want. Salsa
on the side,
Yeah, right. And,
Would you do that for breakfast?
Frank's Red Hot sauce on it. Yes, that's what's for breakfast.
So, Pam, guess what's for dinner? We'll be right back.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital Base Intervention Grant.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Ecclesiastes 3:11 says this: God has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. Now, I want you to notice that verse. Notice it says, God has planted eternity in the human heart. What does that mean? It means that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what religion somebody has, human beings have a God-given, built-in instinct to realize there's got to be more to life than just here and now. Eternity was put in our hearts. We got to think, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to life after death. Why does every religion believe there's life after death? because God wired us that way. You were made for more than just the here and now.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Well, good morning to you. 29 before the hour. You know, we've had this story. I just had no idea that it was going to rise to this level with Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick, how do you say his name?
Fuentes?
Fuentes.
Yeah.
It's not spelled like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, why can't they just, Smith, S-M-I-T-H. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Well, anyway, this interview has caused so much controversy.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's really bad. And then the Heritage Foundation gets tied up in it, and the president there. And now one of the lead stories this morning I'm following here is that the staff is calling for his resignation. Mm-hmm. Gosh, that's a bad day when you come to work and your staff wants you gone.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So anyway, here's CBN Newswatch dealing with fighting anti-Semitism on the right. Not on the left, but on the right. And here's the story.
This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. Going to begin this half hour with a dangerous trend in American politics. In recent years, anti-Semitism has been a serious problem on the left. Well, now the Republican Party is dealing with a growing issue of its own from some on the extreme right. The issue exploded in the national spotlight recently when a prominent podcaster hosted a well-known anti-Semite on his program. CBN's chief political analyst David Brody has the story.
Republican conservatives are facing a looming crisis. The evil of anti-Semitism has infiltrated the ranks.
In the last 6 months, I've seen more anti-Semitism on the right than I have in my entire life. This is a poison, and I believe we are facing an existential crisis in our party and in our country.
This time, it's not limited to podcaster Candace Owens spouting Jewish conspiracy theories. This past week, center stage belonged to this guy, Nick Fuentes, who has suggested perfidious Jews should be executed.
If you are against organized Jewry, you're on my team.
His social media videos are seen by millions, especially young men who champion the America First mantra. Recently, popular influencer Tucker Carlson gave Fuentes a huge platform on his show.
Nick Fuentes, thank you for doing this.
Instead of challenging Fuentes on past statements of denying the severity of the Holocaust and praising the evil Joseph Stalin, Carlson gave him a pass with virtually no pushback. Josh Hammer, who wrote the book Israel and Civilization, says Carlson is playing with fire because we live in an era when public institutions are losing trust, so we don't know exactly who and what to believe.
I think the American people have lost the ability in many ways to distinguish right from wrong, fact from fiction. And putting on my historian's cap, David, thinking back over the past few thousand years of Western civilizational history, there are historically been one people who most disproportionately are harmed when a society loses the ability to distinguish right from wrong, fact from fiction. That, unfortunately, is the Jewish people.
Hammer and other conservatives have watched with dismay as Carlson spends an inordinate amount of time focusing on Jews.
It is an actual deep, profound obsession, and a very unhealthy obsession at that.
His guests range from Holocaust deniers to those accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza, and even suggesting Israel's spy agency is somehow involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Carlson also insulted millions of evangelicals during the Fuentes interview by calling Christian Zionist support for Israel a brain virus.
I dislike them more than anybody, because what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian.
Although he since apologized, the damage from the program remains. Liz Harrington is a former spokeswoman for President Trump.
When I listen to that Nick Fuentes interview,
I hear two people that really don't seem very familiar with the Bible. Israel will always be attacked. It will always be a dividing line because it's central to God's plan for salvation for everyone. And you know who can't stand that? The devil.
That chaos played out further in conservative circles when the Heritage Foundation's president, Kevin Roberts, defended Carlson's interview with Fuentes.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail.
Roberts later attempted to apologize, although it still left angry staffers and turmoil inside the conservative think tank. In the end, this creeping anti-Semitism on the far right could be a nightmare for the GOP. And if it's not dealt with quickly, Hammer predicts disaster.
That would be the death knell for the Republican Party as a politically salient political vehicle in America. The moment really does call for the leading men of the moment, folks like President Trump, folks like Vice President J.D. Vance, whoever else wants to rise to the challenge, who has the gravitas, the credibility to do so, to do the right thing. Until then, the forecast will be for tough sledding and slippery roads ahead for a Republican president and Congress trying to hold on to power. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
Turn now to a major legal case that could affect the United States economy. The Supreme Court is weighing in on the issue of tariffs as justices are examining whether the president has the right to use Emergency Powers Act to set the rates on tariffs. If the president loses the case, it could rattle his economic agenda. CBN Charlene Aaron has the story.
It's being called the most economically consequential case in decades, and it centers around a law giving the president power to regulate trade in response to an emergency. A majority of the justices, including several conservatives, expressed doubts over the president's use of emergency powers to impose tariffs.
Could the president impose a 50% tariff on gas-powered cars and auto parts to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat from abroad of climate change?
It's very likely that could be done. Very likely.
I think that has to be the logic of your view.
Yeah, in other words, obviously this administration would say that's a hoax, it's not a real crisis, but...
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, pretty stiff going on there. We'll see what this is. I don't know. I don't know where all that goes. All right, let's check out the weather. I know where that's going.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and McMinnville, and near 60 in Wilsonville, with a south wind gusting up to 26 miles per hour. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, rainy and breezy with daytime high temperatures in the upper 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 60 in Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. Chance of rain and breezy across central Oregon with daytime highs near 59 in Prineville, 54 in Bend, and near 50 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers before 11 a.m., then partly sunny and near 58. Rain with gusty winds today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, mid-50s in Brookings, and near 60 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, mostly cloudy with rain likely mainly after 10 a.m. with highs near 59 in Grants Pass, 60 in Medford, and near 56 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, rain in the late afternoon with highs in the low 50s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in near 57 in Wairika, a chance of showers in Redding with a high near 61, partly sunny in mid-60s in Chico, and mostly sunny in upper 60s in Sacramento. Patchy, dense fog across the Bay Area this morning, then clearing to sunny to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 67 in San Francisco, and 69 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Well, beautiful shot off the top of the hill this morning, and again, looking westward, a little fog over the top of us. So there you go.
Well, it was literally a smooth move in shaving technology, and it happened on this day in history.
On November 6, 1928, Colonel Jacob Schick patented a shaving implement that would soon revolutionize morning routines everywhere, the world's first electric razor. Schick, a U.S. Army colonel and inventor, was inspired by the idea of creating a quick, safe shave without water, soap, or a blade. His first model hit the market in 1931, bulky, noisy, and expensive.
but men loved the convenience. By the late 1940s, millions were ditching their razors and lather for Schick's electric innovation. Nearly a century later, his idea still powers the electric shavers we use today. Proof that sometimes the best ideas come from a close shave.
That works in a pinch, when you can't get to your hot water and sink and lather and stuff, I guess,
I don't know. I don't even know one.
Okay. I am.
Peggy has one for the dog.
Okay. Okay.
Well, same thing, isn't it?
Well, now especially.
Maybe I could use that one. I don't know.
Well, now especially, wet shaving, with, razors, you have so many blades in them now. It's hard not to get a smooth shave.
Yeah, it's
like 5 blades in a.
I know. And, you get used to one.
Uh-huh.
What? Then you get upset when they discontinue it.
A lot of people are going back, a lot of guys are going back to the old original safety razor.
Yeah.
With the blade in there, and.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ever trust a barber to give you a shave?
I have never had a barber put a razor to my neck before.
That's one reason why I don't go there. That's why I've never done it. I thought I'm not laying back and having a guy put a hot blanket over my face and then to get something out that they could decapitate me with.
I think, no, I can't do it. I can't.
Okay. All right, so much for that. All right, well, as you know, one of the big stories out there today is the president tariffs argument is being argued in front of the Supreme Court. The exchange yesterday, if you're listening to some of the audio take, is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's on a bumpy road,
yes,
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But what does Harvard professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz have to say about it? And he was on Newsmax National Report talking about that. And here's his takes on the president's tariffs issue.
Yeah, well, tariffs are not taxes. Taxes are taxes, and tariffs are tariffs. And the Chief Justice called the health care bill sustained at 5-4 on the ground, arguing about whether it was a tax or not. I don't think the court's going to decide the case on that basis, and they shouldn't. Look, there's a great conflict here. The conflict is the president has foreign policy powers and Congress has revenue-raising powers. Tariffs are both. The president uses it for both reasons. He wants to influence foreign policy. He's threatened, obviously, Russia. He's threatened everybody. Canada, tariffs because of fentanyl. That's plainly within the president's prerogative. On the other hand, he also says, well, we got to get rich again. And getting rich again means tariffs. So it's a great constitutional conflict. And there are great lawyers on both sides. So I think we're going to see a very, very important decision. I think it'll be a split decision. Obviously, the lawyer for the businesses is wrong when he says the president can simply walk across the street and by a majority get authority to do the tariffs. That's just not the way politics works today. No. And if the president doesn't have the power, he may not get it at all. So this is a very, very important decision. I think on balance, the court probably will defer to the president. But it's unclear. The questions seem to be going the other way. But the constitutional analysis would seem to suggest that if there is a dominant intention, purpose of influencing foreign policy, that the president probably gets the last word on that.
So it could be a 5-4 split.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a win. Yeah. But when you have Gorsuch asking those kinds of questions, you got John Roberts, who's been known. I mean, he gave us Obamacare.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know what you're going to do with this.
Right.
So we'll have to wait and see how it happens. Okay. Well, you know what they ought to do in the Supreme Court? They ought to take a nacho break. Just has nachos and cheese there. Everybody cool down there.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah, chill. Let's have some nachos. We'll be right back. The most challenging things that happens when you're doing interviews is you interview somebody that their answer is yes, no, yes, no. Those are very, very difficult to do. And you hope it's over real soon. Then you have those that you ask a question to, and they just go on and on and on. I mean, you could literally leave the set, go out and have a hamburger, and come back, and they're still answering the question.
Focus Today, weekdays at 8 on the Dove Radio and TV.
Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you today. I don't want to pray just when I need something or when things aren't going my way. I need you all the time, no matter what is going on. And I just want to say thank you. Even though things aren't perfect, you are, and your plan for me is. Thank you for your grace, for your mercy, for your unconditional love for me. And most of all, thank you for sending your son Jesus to die for my sins to prove that unconditional love. That even while I was a sinner, he died for me. Thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Twin Factor is brought to you on the Dove TV by Black Flag Armory. Firearms, gunsmithing, training, and the best prices in Southern Oregon. Twin Factor, weekends on the Dove TV.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle,
but take care of you.
Hi, welcome back. Happy Thursday to you. Recently had Jonathan Tobin on. Now he writes for the Jewish News Syndicate, and he's one of their chief editors there. And I asked him, why are Jews the exception to CRT? Mm-hmm. You know, why are we in this constant thing where the world is against Jews? Why is it that Jews? It's okay to pick on Jews.
I don't know.
But everybody else, it's called racism.
Right. That's a great question.
You know, well, if you don't know the Bible, you wouldn't know the answer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, true. Yeah.
And that's the problem. A big portion of the world is biblically illiterate. So, anyway, here's what he had to say.
Yeah. Wow. You know, the truth is, you know, this is because, you know, critical race theory, intersectionality, settler colonialism, all these toxic left-wing theories, they're based in Marxism, and Marxism has always been, irreconcilably against Jews and the Jewish people and Judaism. Jews are, they've been the other for 2,000 years, they hate the Jews because they think they're rich. They hate the Jews because they think they're poor. They hate the Jews because they assimilate. They hate the Jews because they don't assimilate. Anti-Semitism is not about what the Jews do. It's about the anti-Semites. That's always been true. It was true throughout the 20th century and long before that. It's true today because anti-Semitism is not just ordinary hate, like not being nice to each other. Anti-Semitism is rooted in politics and power. It's a tool that ruthless, unscrupulous people have always used in order to gain power, in order to stigmatize a group that they see as vulnerable. And, in our day, Israel is the stand-in for the powerless Jew of the past. That's why it's judged by double standards. That's why it's not allowed to win wars. That's why when it defends itself, it's falsely accused of genocide. That's what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is also the stumbling block now within Christianity. Mm-hmm. And in the recent days, it could be the stumbling block for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And if they allow this to continue to grow within the Republican Party, you can just kiss it goodbye.
Yep. And you talk about it all the time. Why is that type of behavior against the Jewish community not looked at in the same light that it is with other races and other people groups? And as I gather my stories for, especially on this day, I'm a history nut, and I sit on these websites that give me all the historical chronology, and I'm stunned as I shop and as I look for stories over and over again throughout history. I find these days where they talk about atrocities that happened to the Jewish community in different places throughout the world. It's over and over again. It's never about any other racial group. It's never about any other people. It's always the Jews in this particular city in France were driven out of town. The Jews in this particular city, and fill in the blank, are murdered as armies go through. I mean, it's over and over again. So history seems to repeat itself.
It does. It's mind-boggling to me. When the replacement theology came into more focus, more understanding. A replacement theology basically is people will believe that the Jews' position in God's mind as being the chosen was replaced with the New Testament church. It was born out of the book of Acts, and that was the spread of evangelicalism and all those other things that go on out there, and that somehow the modern day church is the replacement of the Jew. Okay, so that's like saying your family tree started with you.
Right.
You don't have a family tree behind you.
Yes.
Why go to, to these websites that tell you about how far back your family goes?
Yeah.
But what's so surprising to me is that fighting a people group is about as anti-Christian that you can possibly be.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying to that people group is you're unredeemable. Okay. Well, then the gospel is meaningless.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand that. Then they blame Jews because they are so smart that they trick people into financial deals, or they have hidden military agendas, or they have hidden medical science agendas. They accuse them all of this stuff, and yet everything that the Jews have done, especially in Israel, they've given it to the world.
Yeah, true.
They don't hide it.
Yeah.
They share it.
Right.
And so it's just a mystery to me. I mean, I get letters, and I'm just stunned at Christian leaders that are anti-Jew.
Yeah, and it's even more stunning when we see that now coming from the political right in our country. I mean, this is crazy.
Why do we send people into an Islamic country to witness? Because God loves them too.
Well, God loves everybody, right?
But not the Jew?
But not the Jew, yeah.
We'll send people into a communist country as missionaries. We'll send them into China. We send them all over the world. But we are to hate the Jews?
Don't forget, we've been grafted into that family tree.
See, they just, it's really a mystery to me. Everything that surrounds the Jew is mysterious, and it's like they're the devil incarnate, and you kind of go, what do you do with this?
Yeah.
But if the right allows the left to identify them as Zionists, they will lose.
Yeah.
And they need to stand up and say, we are defenders of Israel and of the Jewish people, period. Period.
Yeah.
And we're against anti-Semitism, period. If they let it go beyond that, that's an open door for the left, and believe me, they're very good at going through those doors and rubbing your nose in it.
Well, I don't think any of us expected that interview that Tucker Carlson
That's
did
amazing.
to explode as it has exploded on the scene. What do you predict will happen inside the Heritage Foundation and the turmoil that's going on right now?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Look, I'm not against Tucker Carlson. I'm against what he believes and says.
Sure.
He can have his show all day long. I'm not for canceling him. As far as the Heritage Foundation is concerned, the Board of Regents better get together and clean house.
And what does that mean?
Well, it might mean the president's got to go.
Okay.
Because if you don't protect the integrity of the institution, you don't have an institution.
Yeah, true.
You just don't. What good is a Ivy League college these days? with all the nonsense going on.
That is a great point. Yeah, and that, yes, yeah.
So there's some really interesting things going on here. That's a Heritage Foundation. Wow.
Yeah,
I get their monthly letter,
right?
And I enjoy reading it. But
is there about to be a leadership change?
Well, it appears today. The headlines I'm following today is the staff is in revolt against the president. What do you do with that?
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys turned on me in here, why would I want to be in the building? I either apologize and come, humbly before you and say I made a mistake, or if I believe I'm right and you're wrong, I leave.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. You don't have to confuse it.
This is a critical time for them.
It is.
Yeah.
They're a great organization.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Well, listen, stick around. I got Richard Harris coming up a little bit. We'll be not the guy there in Las Vegas selling funny things. And I got Bob Just coming up. Pray for me.
He is in Las Vegas selling funny things.
He is. He's in New York selling funny things.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, James 1, verses 2 and 3. Count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials of various kinds. Why? For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. You know what? Everything you believe is being tested today, and you better know why you believe it. Okay, we'll be right back.
I believe it. I believe it. There is a God. I can feel it. I can feel it. There is a God. And the more I find, the less I need to see.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Because Christ is in our relationships at home, there should be a new quality to that relationship. It doesn't always happen all at once, but it happens along the way. As we submit ourselves to the Lord, as we should become better husbands and better wives and better parents and more obedient children and better workers and better bosses. Why? Because Christ is in the equation. Christ is everything. The title of this series is Christ Above All. He's more important than anything we've talked about today, to understand that it's all about our relationship with Christ. And here's Paul telling us, you want to honor the Christ that is the center of your life. It's going to affect how you live, how you relate at home, how you relate at work, how you function as parents. Christ is a difference maker.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Life post-accident with Michael has been filled with such grief and sadness. It's so clear that so much of who he is still missing. We surrender what we thought was in our control to the Lord. I don't need to know the future anymore. This life is yours. What are you going to do with it? Where are you going to take me?
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Grab a cup of coffee
and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Of course, a lot of discussion about the spiritual condition of America. And are we moving in the right direction? Well, I'm honored to have back with us today. It's been a little while. Richard Harris is back with us. He serves as the Executive Director of Truth and Liberty Foundation. He's the host of the Truth and Liberty Show and the founder of the Richard Harris Ministries. He graduate from Cornell Law School. He has practiced law for over 29 years and represented all levels of clients on state and federal in the court, including the U.S. Supreme Court. He's also the founder, like I said, of the Richard Harris Ministries, where he teaches the Word of God. He does have a website, truthandliberty.net, truthandliberty.net. And there's the picture of the landing page of his website. Richard, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Hello, Perry. Thank you for having me on. I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Doing well. Where are you? So where are we talking to you from?
Yeah, I'm located in Woodland Park, Colorado, which is about 20 miles west of Colorado Springs, right here in the Rocky Mountains.
All right. Any snow yet?
Well, we've had some, but it didn't stay very long. We probably will get some next week, I imagine.
Okay. All right. Good to see you. Thanks for your time. You recently have said America is showing signs of forgetting God. And I think there's a lot of people that would agree with that. What do you mean by that statement?
Well, Perry, we have two currents right now in America going on, spiritually speaking. Many people believe that there is a great awakening that is beginning. Young people especially seem to be coming to Christ in waves and headed back to church. And yet at the same time, George Barna and Family Research Council just released a very disturbing survey showing that biblical viewpoints on important cultural issues like abortion and family among churchgoers in America are rapidly declining. So in just 2 years, from 2023 to 2025, there has been a 20% drop in the number of churchgoers who say they are pro-life. At the same time, there's been a 13% increase among churchgoers of those who say they are pro-choice. And then we're seeing some less than a majority of churchgoers believe in a traditional view of family with a mother and father and children. And then it gets real murky after that. So what we're seeing here is a rapid deterioration of a biblical worldview. So I'm concerned for the state of the church in our country, and I think we need to begin sounding the alarm on the critical need for discipleship in our country and teaching the Word of God with boldness on all of the issues that it addresses, not just our favorite topics.
You know, to augment that, I've had Dr. Barna on quite a few times. He also did a survey where we went from I think it was like 6% of Americans had a biblical worldview to less than 4% biblical worldview. So doesn't that suggest that we aren't teaching Christian catechism to our congregants?
Oh, yeah, it's conclusive proof. There's no doubt about it. We are not teaching the entire Word of God. Christ commanded us, this Perry commanded us to make disciples of the nation and of all nations. But I think we've forgotten that. We think we've done our job if we simply, give an altar call in church on Sunday morning. And that's not the scriptural mandate. It's not the scriptural example that we've been given. But God wants the whole world to be discipled. He wants, as it says in Habakkuk 2:14, the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. This is not, God hasn't called us to sort of, get our tickets punched so we can go to heaven. He wants us to go to heaven, no doubt about it. Eternal life is the beginning of everything. And but God wants more than that. He wants the world to be submitted to His Word in all aspects of life. And until we change our understanding of that, I don't think that we're going to be able to fulfill our obligations, our duty to the Lord to make disciples.
So how are we as churchgoers presenting the Bible to non-believers? I mean, are they seeing this as an offense or the Word of God?
Well, it's a good question. Of course, you can't you can't feed meat to a baby, can you? Right. So with unbelievers, you have to begin at the beginning, and beginning with the message of salvation. But in terms of direct, invitation to follow Christ, but we also need to stand boldly in the culture for all biblical truth, because it's the truth that sets us free. And as we do that, then we are representing Christ. We are a light, and we are salt, and people will be drawn. Those who love the truth will be drawn to it, right? And so that's an absolute mandate there. How do we do it? Well, I like what Bishop Joshua Lueri out of Uganda said one time. He said, "Think Bible, speak Babylonian." In other words, sometimes we have to speak in language that unbelievers are familiar with and understand. Sometimes quoting a Bible verse may not be it, but we've got to present the truth nonetheless in ways that they can understand it. So, if Christians roll over and don't stand up for the unborn, if we roll over and we don't stand up for God's definition of marriage, then where's our credibility? Where's the power of our witness? Are people going to listen to us when we say, "Oh, you need to be saved and accept Christ as your Savior"? No, we will just be relegated further and further into irrelevancy. We must be bold and clear on these issues.
Dr. Barna, in his research, also showed that when we began to slip biblically is when we did away with Sunday school in a lot of churches in America. In other words, we weren't teaching the essentials. We were teaching the Bible, but we weren't teaching the essentials of the faith. Do you think that might be an issue?
Oh, I think he's spot on there, Perry. Yeah, I'm sure you are familiar with the seeker-friendly movement. That began in the 1990s, coming out of Willow Creek in the Chicago area, and then other churches, and just swept over the evangelical community in our nation and even other churches. And what we've done is we've mistakenly believed that the Sunday morning services are really for unbelievers. And that is not the biblical model. The biblical model is that the church comes together to edify, strengthen, and teach itself. But then from there, we go out and share the gospel with the lost. From there, we go out and are salt and light in the world. But as a result of this wrong, unbiblical thinking, we've watered everything down. We've made everything appealing to the unbeliever. And so our pastors across the nation now think, "Oh, I can't teach on this issue. It might offend people. I can't speak on this because it might make people not come to church." Well, that's not what the Bible says. Ephesians 4 says that pastors and teachers and apostles and prophets and evangelists, their ministry is for the edifying of the body of Christ, that the body of Christ might do the work of the ministry. And so I think we need to change. We need to reject this whole seeker-friendly model and go back to teaching the entire counsel of the Word of God in our churches. Sunday school was where we raised up our children and our youth, largely, not just youth, but primarily where we discipled our youth to understand how the Bible addresses everything from the authority of parents to, being stewards over everything God gives us and all sorts of other issues. And I'm afraid today now we've turned Sunday school into children's church and we water it all down. I don't mean to give too long of an answer, but I remember when I was attending a particular mega church and my kids did not want to go to children's church. They said, "Mom, Dad, it's too baby-ish." That's where their words. "It's for babies. We want to be in big church with you because at least it's something, meaningful." And we've got to get back to catechizing, if you will, or teaching our children the full counsel of God's word.
Why do we shy away with what the Bible says on cultural issues? I mean, I realize that is a rhetorical question, but the point being is we're still being tricked into thinking that it's political and not spiritual.
Yeah.
Why are we gone down that road?
Well, it's a complex answer, I think, but you're right. The problem is government has gotten into and taken control over moral issues. And then it says, "Oh, that's political." Well, no, marriage, family, sexual relationships, sexual identity socialism, even. These are moral issues first. And the church absolutely has authority to speak on these issues. In fact, we're called and commanded to do so. And, the concept of separation of church and state, it's not in our Constitution as such. The Constitution doesn't use those words. And it comes out of the movement and spirit of Antichrist religion called secular humanism. Secular humanism began in the 19th century and just picked up steam until it invaded and took over our colleges, our universities, and now even our seminaries. And the Supreme Court, started releasing decisions saying the government can't endorse religion. Your kids can't read the Bible in school, can't pray in school. You can't have the 10 Commandments on school walls, even though our founding document refers to God, even though the 10 Commandments are on the Supreme Court building, even though all of our monuments throughout our history have consistently referred to God, not all, but many. And that was never part of our history. And so this idea of secularism, the church has been discipled by the world instead of discipling the world. And we bought into these lies. And we've got to just reject this stuff and get back to what God's word says. And let it be our standard, not the Supreme Court and not, the culture.
Why have we allowed the term Judeo-Christian heritage be replaced with multiculturalism?
I think it's kind of the same thing, one thing that's true, brother, is, we've been deceived. Basically, the world, progressives tell us we should be more like Jesus than Jesus was, right? They're making us accept an image of Christ that is not accurate. In other words, Jesus, he turned over the money changers' table. He fashioned a cord, a whip to drive the people out that were polluting the church and the purpose of God. He told the woman caught in adultery, sin no more. So he showed yet truth and compassion. He called us the Pharisees, you whitewashed sepulchres, you den of vipers. So the Lord was quite strong. He was afraid of no one. He couldn't care less what people thought about him. He wanted all people saved, but he's not going to kowtow to anybody. And we need to put that same spirit on and stop worrying about what people think of us so much and worry more about what God thinks about what we're saying and doing.
Okay, there's another thing that's growing here, Richard, and that is being a youth pastor today isn't like it was maybe when you and I were growing up, where it was basically car washes and barbecues. Okay, today, a youth pastor is faced with a young person who's thinking about transitioning. Mm-hmm. And are they prepared for this? Are we preparing young leaders to deal with today's social issues from a biblical perspective?
Well, we're not. And the truth probably is, and I haven't seen surveys on this, but I suspect, most youth pastors are Gen Zs or young millennials, right? And the polling on that generation, even among churchgoers, in this Barna survey, only 34% of Gen Zs that go to church believe in a biblical definition of marriage. So I suspect that many of our youth pastors are not only equipped, they probably don't see anything wrong with it, right? And they are buying into this moral relativism and this don't offend anybody description of love that's not biblical. And so, no, I don't think they are. And the whole idea of transitioning gender, the whole idea of homosexuality, I think the church is really way behind on this subject. We haven't really stepped into this fray and learned about this issue, about the whole concept of sexual identity and the struggles that people in this arena are facing. And so we haven't been able to minister to them effectively. We've kind of preached, condemning messages at times, but we've never discovered what is it that's causing this and how can we reach these people. And so we just gloss over it. But it is a very real issue, and we've got to understand it. It comes from brokenness, internal brokenness about one's own identity. And Christ is the healer, and he can set people free. But it's going to take more than us just saying, homosexuality is wrong. And it's going to take more than us saying, oh, you can be anything you want to be, right? Those are the two polar opposites. But the truth is actually, it is wrong. And yet Christ loves you and will set you free because you are loved and are a child of God. So you're right. We got to equip our youth pastors. And to do that, our pastors themselves have to get equipped. So our seminaries need to change on this.
All right, let me take a quick break here. Delighted to have Richard Harris with us today. Check out truthandliberty.net. That's his website. There's a picture of the landing page, truthandliberty.net. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
When plumbing emergencies hit, and they do, you want help from a plumber you can trust, and you need it now. Onnit Plumbing to the rescue. Onnit Plumbing gets the job done right with integrity and quality craftsmanship. Onnit Plumbing offers military discounts, senior discounts, and discounts for KDOV listeners too. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Onnit Plumbing, CCB 229436. No job too big or small. Onnit Plumbing does them all. See us at onnitplumbing.net. onnitplumbing.net.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Faith isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be worn boldly and shared daily. At wearyourjesus.com, every piece is more than clothing. It's a conversation starter, and every purchase has purpose. 100% of profits support IM 320, helping people find hope and emotional health through God's Word. Visit wearyourjesus.com today and be bold in your faith. For a limited time, use the discount code below at checkout to save big. That's wearyourjesus.com. Wear it, live it, share it.
Okay, welcome back. An honor to have with us today Richard Harris. He serves as the Executive Director of Truth and Liberty Foundation. He's also the host of the Truth and Liberty Show. He has his own ministry, Richard Harris Ministries. He's also has practiced law for over 25 years, and now he's involved in his ministry, teaching and preaching. You can go to truthandliberty.net, truthandliberty.net. Richard, during the break I was thinking about this. I thought, well, okay, there also seems to be a genuine hunger for truth. Yes. The culture has lied to us in such massive ways, and with today's massive ability of communication, people are obviously drawn to a news source that they want to hear it that way. But the point is that there's so much information out there, and it seems to all be lying to us, that people now are literally seeking what is truth. I mean, here at the Dove Radio and TV Network, we're hearing some interesting questions. Number one, is there really a God? That's pretty simple. Number two, is there really a heaven? Which tells you they're thinking about eternity. Number three, does he really love me? And is there really something to this thing called Christianity? I'm wondering, there seems to be the spirit of a harvest. Are we prepared, or do we see it?
You know, that's really great, Perry. Great observation. I agree 100% with what you're saying. I think there is a hunger for truth out there, and that's why we're seeing this revival, especially among young people. You know, the Charlie Kirk assassination revealed it. Yet the response to it, you could see it. Millions of people all over the world coming to Christ. Bible sales are through the roof. Last year, in the first 10 months, Bible sales were up 24% in America, and it's just continuing. Church attendance is now way above what it was prior to COVID. So COVID, it dropped drastically, but it's bounced back and even surpassed pre-COVID levels, and especially among young people. It's the young people that are coming back to church, and the most exciting part of that is it's the men who are coming. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited and hopeful, but in this broader picture where we sort of have the bad news and the good news, it just feels to me from a spiritual perspective that the Lord is continuing, sort of a separation is happening, where those, First Thessalonians, when it's talking about the Antichrist and so forth, and it says God will send them strong delusion, for they did not receive the love of the truth. And I feel like we're in that time where there are people who don't love the truth. They don't want the truth, and they're becoming more and more deluded. And yet we have people who in their heart, they do want to know what's true. They do want to follow what's true, and they're seeking after it, and God is rewarding them by revealing his son to them. And so I just think we're in the last days, and it's just sort of unfolding before our very eyes, and I don't want to be, hands off it. We don't have any role to play in this. God's doing it all. No, it's kind of up to us to determine how big and successful this revival is. And so I think the Holy Spirit is calling all of us to really just seek his face and to become stronger and bolder than we've ever been before, and fulfill our callings to make disciples.
There's another part of maybe of a proactive position here, Richard. And let's see how I can present this, but it would seem to me that the cultural issues today are constantly being brought up in churches, and it would appear to me that it would be a wise thing for churches to sit down with its leadership, elders, or however they're structured, and write a white paper of the church's position on every cultural issue out there, everyone. So there is no argument at where the church stands and believes. So when it does appear, they've already clarified their position instead of dealing with it in the hot moment of emotions and trying to come up with some clarity. It would seem to me that that would be a proactive thing that churches could do to help offset some of the tension.
Interesting idea. I do think that pastors need to examine these issues, and even whole denominations need to examine these issues, and create statements, biblical statements on them. As you mentioned, I'm an attorney, and I'm also Truth and Liberty is part of a larger ministry here. Andrew Womack is our founder, Andrew Womack Ministries, and so here at Andrew Womack Ministries, and I advise my clients as well to include in your founding documents and in your these things, statements of your convictions from a biblical perspective on marriage and gender and sexuality and abortion and any other cultural issue of the day, not only to make it clear to the public, but to your employees and staff and everyone else, but furthermore, it will help insulate you from certain legal attacks. And I don't want to go into all that today, but yeah, we definitely need to, as we say, know what we believe and why we believe it, and let's be clear about it and put it in writing.
All right, so what is your prayer for the American church? Are we poised for a revival or not?
Well, I think we are. If you look back at revival, the Great Awakenings, there have been lots of revivals. There's only been one or two, or sometimes people say three. I believe there have only been two Great Awakenings. And in these awakenings, what you see is the resistance comes from the church, right? It's the old line, the old guard that doesn't want to change. It's the old guard that doesn't want to recognize that they are, in essence, worshiping methods and modes and idols in a sense, and not responding to the Spirit. You see that in the First Great Awakening. They would throw things and at George Whitefield as he was preaching. They would spit on him and ridicule him, and the pastors of the day wouldn't allow him to preach in their church buildings. He had to do it in open air places. And then the Second Great Awakening, the same thing. And so here today, what we're seeing is many mainline Christian denominations are embracing wokeism, LGBTism, and this is where we see this survey of George Barna. He was surveying all church attendance, but he said in his report, he said there's a big contrast between, it's like the church is split right down, the Christians are split right down the middle. You have the mainline denominations and progressive groups and all this sort of thing, and then you have those who, as Barna puts it, identify theologically as born-again Christians and Pentecostal denominations and so on. And these, that's where the split is largely happening. The serious problem, though, is I think there is erosion even within evangelical circles too. So, but there's a winnowing, there's a separation happening. God is measuring out who really stands with Him and who doesn't, and that's part of the revival process, is the peeling away of the dead and the old, so that the new and that which is full of life and filled with the Holy Spirit can shine brighter and sprout up, just like Jesus said in John 15, my Father is the husbandman, and the branch which beareth not fruit, he, taketh away, and he prunes the branches and so on. And that's what we're seeing today, I think, from a spiritual perspective.
Is this also a Romans 1 moment?
In the sense of becoming reprobate and that sort of thing. Well, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying there, I mean, he keeps Romans 1, he keeps reaching out, and they keep rejecting. And, are we seeing that?
We are, and we're not. Again, it's the remnant, right? This is God deals with the remnant, and He's purifying His church, those who name His name. It's becoming harder and harder for people to name the name of Christ and hold on to their wrong thinking and unbelief. And the more we reject Christ, as people refuse to acknowledge Him and submit to His word, the harder their heart becomes. That's what Romans 1 teaches. They became unthankful, and their hearts were hardened, and then it becomes harder to hear, and you become more and more deceived until finally you're given over to a reprobate mind. So at the same time, though, the Holy Spirit is constantly calling us to repent. He's always speaking and inviting the church everywhere to repent, and those who have an ear to hear will hear. And so my prayer for the church is repentance. My prayer is awakening, and that pastors and leaders especially would come back to their first love and stand strong on the Word of God, let come what may in terms of the public's response or the size of their church or whatever. This is what we have to do.
You're fascinating. Thanks for your time. Can we get you back?
Oh, anytime. It's been an honor to be with you. Wish we had more time.
Well, you bet. So let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the website, truthandliberty.net. And you also check out his podcast there as well. Thank you, Richard. God bless you, friend. Stay in the fight. We need you.
All right. Thanks, Perry. God bless you.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Baptism
is merely a symbol of the spiritual reality. It declares what happens spiritually when we embrace Christ. When I go under the water, I identify with his death and with his burial. Because my friend, in God's eyes, it was me hanging on the cross. Jesus Christ died as my representative. He died as your representative. And when we go under the waters of baptism, I am fully identifying with his death and burial. Coming out of the water, I identify with his resurrection. He came up out of the grave, he received a new life, and death no longer has a hold on him. And my friend, when I embraced Jesus Christ, I came up out of the grave of sin, and sin no longer has a hold on me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Well, welcome back. Perfect timing, and always a joy when we have time to sit down with our good friend Bob Just. He is the political commentator. He's the founder of Concerned Families, writer for Fox News, American Thinker, World Net Daily. He has a couple of websites, DemocratsForAmerica.com, which could be a misnomer these days, and then BobJust.com. Either one of those will connect you with them, BobJust.com or DemocratsForAmerica.com.
Yeah, I tell you, if the communists take over, it's going to be hard to hold that brand. Democrats, Communists for America, I don't think so.
It's just amazing. Hi, Bob. Good to see you. How you doing?
Hi, good to see you, Perry.
All right.
I love what Trump said about common sense versus communism. I think that pretty much lays it out, don't you?
Well, I don't know. We'll get into it here. So there you are in New York City. We're reading headlines here on the West Coast. We see you're going to lose your esteemed head of the fire department, the commissioner. He's throwing in the towel. Cops are leaving. Citizens are leaving. What happened Tuesday? How did New York go from 9/11 being attacked by extreme Islamists to electing one to be mayor of the city?
It's more frustrating than I can say, Perry. I really thought we'd pull it out. I think it's a shame that Sliwa didn't take the moment in the second debate to just, Sliwa being the Republican candidate for people who don't follow New York politics. He had a moment in the second debate where he could have just focused entirely on Madami, ignored Cuomo, and then ended up and just said, I can't continue this. It's too important that we beat a socialist who will really hurt this country. So because of this country, this city and country, and so because I love New York, I'm stepping down. He didn't do that. He put his own, in my opinion, he put his own ambitions first. And that could have made a difference. It could have made a difference.
Okay.
But I think people voted emotionally. They're frustrated and not paying attention.
A couple things here. Let me just deal with the campaign quickly. From what I read and understand, it was a perfectly extreme left-wing executed campaign. They stay focused on one thing, affordability. They didn't care what anybody else said, think, or thought. They zeroed in on that emotion, and they won. It was actually, from that standpoint, it was a brilliantly run campaign. As crazy as it was, they won. The second thing is, I'm struggling, Bob, here, and you know me enough to know this, but I'm struggling with the fact that he's being identified as a socialist when he's really an extreme Islamist.
Yeah, he's a communist Islamist. People have said that Islam is just communism with a god. I've heard that said, and there's certain sense that if you're talking about radical Islam, for sure. So there's a natural connection.
Yeah, but you can't be an extreme Islamist and be a socialist. I mean, it seemed to me that socialism became a subterfuge, something to hide behind. It was more marketable to be a socialist than it would be to be a communist, Islamic communist. So he used the word socialism. As crazy as that is, that was more marketable than being an Islamist that killed a bunch of people on 9/11.
Yeah. And, it's a shame, too. A lot of young voters don't remember 9/11 at all, Perry. That's a sad reality. They just don't remember it. They're not paying attention. Look, part of the problem we're dealing with, and by the way, this goes back to Bill Clinton and definitely Barack Obama, is that we live in an age of the appeal of smooth talkers. If you're charming, I mean, personally, Madami's smile gave me chills, right? A smile with the iron teeth, you know. But the sad thing is too many voters vote on charm. They vote on feelings, emotion. And so if you can go on social media and be cute, you can get a vote. A lot of people will vote for you because it comes across as, oh, he's nice. He cares about people like me. Oh, my gosh. Those mean Republicans and the mean Donald Trump. Remember, this is a blue city, right? New Jersey's a blue state. Virginia's a blue state. New York is cobalt blue, right? And so our fight is to resist that, which is why I stay a Democrat, because, Democrats won't hear it from a Republican. It's that simple. I vote Republican, but I stand on the basic principle that we need two under God America parties, two parties that believe in this country. You notice that Madami quoted referred to Eugene Debs in his acceptance speech.
Right.
Eugene, I'll give you some Eugene Debs quotes later, but Eugene Debs is anti-Christian, anti-God, globalist. I mean, he's pure Alinsky. They all come from this world that has nothing to do with this country. It has nothing to do with the basic principles of this country. That's why they're hostile to this country. Madami especially, because you add the Muslim aspect to it.
If you look at the end numbers after the election, your city is well divided. He did not get a mandate. The biggest separation...
50-50 split.
Well, the biggest separation I saw was 8 points. I saw it as little as 2 points. So whatever poll you're looking at. But that's not a mandate. So you're now living in a completely divided city that could be economically upside down within the matter of weeks. And I don't know, does Mondani become the new icon for the left, or is it going to be Gavin Newsom?
That's a great question. It cuts to the chase. This is to the heart of it, cuts to the heart of it. I hate the choice. It's like choosing between, Cuomo and Mondami. It's a horrible choice. But there is a battle in the party. There's a war going on in the party. I'm, of course, way to the right. I'm a conservative Democrat, so I'm the way the Democratic Party used to be. But we're fighting now to keep it from being a socialist communist party and to get it back to being a leftist liberal party, if you can accept those terms. And that's the battle. I hate to say it. I think there's a deep strain in my party that's anti-Christian, anti-religious, and specifically anti-Christian. And it's very unhealthy, and that's the battle. That is the battle. And they've used Trump to help young people forget what the fight is all about. They've used Trump, not just young people, but all Democrat voters. You hate Trump, don't you? He's so mean, and all of this stuff. And of course, lying about what Trump is trying to do, when he's working on the international stage, plus trying to get illegal immigrants out of the country. And right now, ironically, Trump is dealing with the criminal illegal immigrants. In other words, he's dealing with the worst of the worst, as he always says. Wait till we get down to people who are just illegal. So they've created this. What Democrats do, Perry, is they create an emotional hysteria in the environment of the vote. Right? Look at what they've done.
They're good at it.
They've shut the government down. That's going to cause emotion. They've resisted ICE, acting like they're the Gestapo, using that term. Emotional, scare, fear. And all the while they're using fascist tactics, communist tactics, really. They're accusing us of being fascist, right? It's all smart talk, emotional, fear-mongering, hate-mongering, it's a nightmare, right? But what they've done is they've created this atmosphere of those people, meaning us, are dangerous. Trump is dangerous. Trump is mean. And people voted in that atmosphere. I mean, look, I've been watching this for 40 years like you. It's horrible.
Well, they get an A in blaming us for what they're doing. I mean, they get
exactly. Exactly right.
They do a good job. But one other quick question before I have to take a break. What happens now? Now, I understand some Jews and some even rabbis voted for Mamdani, but the vast majority of the Jews in New York City are against him. What happens to that community? Do they leave?
No, I don't think my feeling, being a born and raised New Yorker, although I love Oregon, I love Southern Oregon, but I know this city, and New Yorkers don't give up that easily. There may be some people who leave, but people won't leave if they think this is just for 4 years. That's my feeling. If they start to feel it's a takeover, meaning there's no hope for Republicans or common sense Democrats, the few that are left, to get back in power, then I think people will start to leave. But I don't think that will be in these next 4 years. Because, first of all, Trump is doing a lot of good. There's a really good chance the economy will turn around in the next year, and we may do well in the off-year elections, which is what it's all about now. They're going to try, as you know, Perry, being a former, Republican Party leader, they're going to try to grab the emotion of this victory and run it to 2026.
Well, look, it underscores something I've lectured on when I was chairman, and also even today when I'm asked to speak at various groups. The Democrats go through the heart to get to the head. Republicans go to the head to get to the heart. And believe me, it's a losing proposition if you do that. You have to go through the heart, engage them emotionally before you can engage them intellectually.
Yeah, you and I feel strongly about that. Republicans are logical. I love Republicans. They're the hope to save the country are under God, America, patriotic Republicans. I mean, God love you guys. You're our hope. But second to Jesus. but the you're right. The reality is we are at our heart a decent people. We focus on logic. We focus on common sense dialogue. Right. Whereas the other side operates on hysteria and fear and anger and hate. Right. As I wrote about years ago in Fascism, Corruption, and My Democratic Party. We're up against it, right? We have to remember when it comes to communism, I'll leave you with this. I know you're going to a break. But when it comes to communism, in the great book Witness, Whittaker Chambers, who used to be a communist spy in the 30s, came out, blew the whistle, testified for the government against the communist infiltration of the government, including the State Department, which turned out to be true, right? And he said in his book Witness, the introduction is written to his children, warning them about the future. And he says in that introduction, we're the underdog. Right? Because this is a battle against the religion of the world. It occurs to me, Perry, that the religion of the world is socialism, but the underlying truth of it is communism, and communism overtakes socialism. But the religion of the world is worshiping man. It's worshiping government. Government is the highest order of man.
Right.
It's the battle.
All right, let me take a quick break. Bob Just, you can go to bobjust.com, democratsforamerican.com, a couple of websites to check out him, and we'll get some more questions for him when we come back.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
We have a divine obligation to teach our children the truth of God's Word so that they'll be equipped to face life and understand that they are children of God. He has a will for their life, a plan for their life, And it's the parents' responsibility to introduce them to the Lord. And every following generation has the same responsibility. We have a responsibility to teach our sons and daughters. Our sons and daughters have the responsibility to teach their sons and daughters. And they have the responsibility to teach their sons and daughters. And no place in the Bible does it say we can have a generation gap when it comes to teaching the Word of God.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Okay, welcome back. Bob Justice with us, a political commentator. Of course, we've known Bob for 943 years. He's founder of Concerned Families, writes for Fox News, American Thinker, and WorldNet Daily. Bob, one more question on New York, and then I want to switch to another topic. Is Trump really that hated in New York?
No, I think in the election, he got around 40% of the vote. Of course, the map is changing. I mean, as I say, the next 3 years are going to be crucial to building the numbers in New York to be more conservative. That's my hope. And I think Mondami may cause some liberals, I hope many liberals, to wake up. Just final word before we move on, Perry. Mondami quotes Eugene Debs, which is a famous socialist from the early 20th century, who was put in jail for insurrection. Now listen to this guy. Listen to his hostility to Christianity or to the faith. He says, "If I were hungry and friendless today, I would rather take my chances with a saloon keeper than with the average preacher." This is a guy that is referenced by Mondami, which means by AOC, which means by Bernie Sanders, that whole movement that's trying to destroy my party. Another quote from him, he says, "I have no country to fight for. My country is the earth. I am a citizen of the world," which goes to my point about socialism as the world's religion, and communism is the underlying evil, tyrannous truth about socialism. Socialism has the smiley face. Communism is the hard, hateful face underneath it. And that's where we're headed if we're not careful. So we need to understand what we're dealing with. This guy, Mondami, is hostile to everything America traditionally loves. Let's put it that way.
Okay, one of the breaking stories today is the Heritage staff is revolting against its president, Kevin Roberts, who, as you know, basically defended Tucker Carlson's interview. This thing has really erupted. I guess my first question is, being close to Fox News that you are, Tucker Carlson gets fired from Fox News and he leaves somewhat as a conservative martyr. And he goes out and he does his own show. And then all of a sudden, these weird conversations are coming up. He's slipping here and there, and then he seemingly now is buying the fallacy of replacement theology as it relates to Jews. Something has happened here, and all of a sudden you've got major eruption at the prestigious Heritage Institute, where the staff is actually calling for the president to resign today because he's defending Tucker Carlson's anti-Semitic comments. What in the world happened to Tucker?
I agonize about this, Perry. I really do. I don't follow Tucker. For me, when he was on Fox, he was appointment viewing. By the way, I don't speak for any insider way with Fox. I am a regular, always on Fox watcher, right? In other words, so I do plug into that Fox culture in that way. But I'm not giving you any insider information, just for the record. But on the other hand, Victor Davis Hanson has talked about this. He's very gentle about it because he has a relationship with Tucker going back to Tucker's Fox days. A lot of people are concerned about this in a very real way. I want to defend Kevin Roberts, though, from what I know about this. And again, Victor Davis Hanson has talked about it, and so has Megyn Kelly and others, right? Everyone's kind of watching this now. Let me speak to Kevin Roberts first. Kevin Roberts is a great man. Kevin Roberts has been so good for Heritage. He's genuinely conservative. He is, MAGA all the way by my observation. Heritage needed that. Heritage was very important. For people who don't know, Heritage was very important going back to the 70s in the rising of Ronald Reagan. Heritage helped define Ronald Reagan. I can't say enough about Heritage. But I'm guessing that this is maybe somewhat overblown, but I don't know the details on it. What I do know is Roberts was trying to make a statement that we have to stop deplatforming people. We have to do what we can to not be like the left. We have to let people voice opinions, even if we vehemently disagree with them. We have to try to connect to them, communicate with them, commiserate with them gently. We have to love them out of their error, right? Now, I have to say, from what I've heard, I don't follow Tucker, not like I used to. So I haven't heard the conversation that was the hot button that you're talking about. But Tucker, my observation about Tucker is, and I disagree with him on war. I think he's gone off the deep end on war, it feels too much like appeasement to me, too much like isolationism. That's my view. I love the opportunity to argue with him. But what I worry about is he's connected the war issue, in other words, getting involved in foreign entanglements, to quote, George Washington's farewell address. He's connected that to Israel. And I think his problem is that he wants to reserve the right to object to any foreign policy, no matter what, whether it's an ally like Britain or an ally like Israel. He's very rooted in free speech. And I think he's caught a lot of heat for objecting to certain things about Israel's behavior. I'm very pro-Israel, as you know. I think Netanyahu is a great man. I think this moment in the Middle East is practically miraculous. I think Trump and Netanyahu are right at the center of it. We would not have a remote chance for peace if it were not for President Trump and Netanyahu. So I think they can handle a little criticism, but I worry about what you're saying. I've never heard that about replacement theory. I hope and pray he's not a genuine anti-Semitite. All I can say is I hope he's not.
Well, there's a couple things here. Kevin Roberts, when you criticize your own staff, that's pretty low. When you call them venomous and that they are interested in canceling people, when in fact none of their staff called for canceling anybody, they just disagreed with them in their statements. And then to call your staff venomous, I think he's got problems. I think he's got serious problems. I think he goes into the office today, he's got problems, big ones.
I tell you what, this is a leftist dream, Perry.
Yeah.
And I've been watching, as I say, you Republicans are the hope of this country. And when I see division among Republicans, I look to the left. I look to subversion. I look to their.
That's where I was going with this, because this is playing right into this. This is divide and conquer, and the left media is putting a big wedge right in the middle of this and driving it home. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so the other part of that is you got Carlson saying to Zionists, "You guys have a brain disease." Look. They have missed the big one. The big one is we can disagree agreeably on what we are talking about. We can do that all day long. But when you call your own names, you got a problem. And that is the open door for the left. And if the right doesn't get a handle on this issue, the one that we're talking about right now,
I agree.
This will be the one that will cause them to lose the midterm.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible thing. I have talked to different people about it, and I, of course, watch it being discussed on Fox News. I think it's a terrible thing. I'd like to see these people, including Victor Davis Hanson, who's a calming force and so informed. I mean,
Yeah.
when he talks about these issues. But the problem is we live in the social media world. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said about you? Well, people are reacting. One of the most dangerous things to do is reacting strongly to partial information.
I get that, Bob. Here's my point. Why would a conservative, simple, why would a conservative not be Israel defending, Jew defending,
100%.
Plain and simple? Why not?
100%. Our only democratic ally in the Middle East, a country that has stood with us. I agree. Look, I'm a Jewish Zionist and I'm a Christian Zionist. I'm both of them. So, I had grandfather lived in Jerusalem and, since the 1930s, he was there for all the wars. I have skin in the game in that way. And I'm, as a Christian, of course, very pro-Israel. I grew up Episcopalian and Tucker Carlson grew up Episcopalian, and I worry about that. I think, look, the big dog in the room, Perry, as you know, is Donald Trump. And what's got to happen, in my view, is Donald Trump has got to bring people like, Victor Davis Hanson, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, because Carlson and Ben Shapiro are really going at it. This is just a dream for the left. This is a dream for them. And we have to cauterize this wound. We have to find out, is it absolutely, really, totally true about Tucker Carlson? Does he really believe these things? And if he does, we need to try to persuade him away from it.
Okay. I don't know.
It's a shame.
The left has really jumped on this one and taken full advantage, especially the left side of the media. But it's serious also, because you can't be anti-Semitic at any level. You just can't do that and call yourself a Christian.
Not in the Republican Party.
And yet...
Yeah, not among Christians.
And yet, this replacement theology is growing within Christianity at a level that's very alarming. Very, very alarming. I mean, I'll get off the show today. I'll guarantee you I'll have at least two Christian leaders that will tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I'd like to know what they have actually against Israel. What has Israel done, this tiny country that has been battling for survival for 70 years plus?
Hey, check out bobjust.com. He's the man. Hey, thanks for getting up. I'm sorry we had to take you from your nap to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you, Perry. Now back to sleep.
Okay, all right. See you later. Thanks, Bob.
All right, take care.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com. Black Flag Armory offers top brand affordable rifles, shotguns, handguns, and gear. We also offer an array of classes emphasizing safety, self-defense, and accuracy. We strive to provide the absolute best possible experience when buying a firearm. Family friendly for every skill level, Black Flag Armory in Midford and Grants Pass. Online at blackflagarms.com or 541-499-0779. 541-499-0779.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for San Rafael and the North Bay. Seen on KQSL 17 and these Dove TV affiliates. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on theDove.
And good morning to you. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and we're glad because Jerry made it to work too.
We're especially glad. Thank you, Lord.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Thursday, another beautiful fall day. Some pretty good rain